What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Blockcast. I am Luke, always joined by James and Zach. Um, Today we are going to be talking about a lot of things. First, we're going to talk about a little bit of the draft, a little bit of unsigned free agents, and then we're going to talk about just overall how every team did, or at least how we think every team did, where they're going to go. Talk about some signings, some trades, some improved teams that we all like, we all dislike, all that kind of good stuff. First off, I want to thank everybody that tuned into our mock draft episode because we eclipsed over 2,600 views,
Yeah,
which is pretty
2,600.
crazy from our normal about 60. So thank you for everybody that watched that. Hopefully we can keep busting out content that you guys enjoy. Hopefully these podcasts will also come a little more regular. When it gets to the season, we're going to be posting a lot more. Just because there's obviously not like there's news in the off season, but it's like you're just waiting
There's
for
way
everything
more to
to
talk
happen.
about.
Yeah, there's way more to talk about in season, and we'll have a lot, football and hockey. We'll have a lot more going on then. On the subject of the draft, boy, I did not see that shit coming at all.
That was crazy.
I
I was at a cottage with my friends, and most of them they don't know shit about hockey. But we're sitting there watching it, and I'm like, "Look at Shane Wright," and we're just all laughing at him. He's in his little chair there crying.
Dude, it was like we were all sitting there in the stream, and like Slavkovsky went one, and that was like shocking, but it was like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then Nemec went two, and that was really, I think, like, holy fuck. Because, like, everything at that point was Cooley in Arizona. Like, you heard nothing of, like, Shane Wright even being a possibility there. And be like, they're actually going to take fucking Cooley at 3. Like, Seattle just came to the league, and, I mean, they could walk away from the draft being the ultimate winners already. I mean, Shane Wright at 4, they drafted, what, Jagger Furcus in their second pick in the second round. I mean, yeah, Ty Nelson too. Yeah, they had on paper they had a great draft.
Yeah. If you can get arguably the best player in the draft at 4, and there's really no other words other than great draft. There isn't, because there was no world this whole draft process where people were going, yeah, he'll fall to 4. Was he might fall to 2 was the talk.
And 3 may it's like 2% chance he'll fall to 3, and then it was.
And Arizona was just like, oh, we'll take Cooley. And
I
now
respect
Seattle has
it.
Beniers and Wright, and that's an
nasty.
Unbelievable center core for the future.
It's definitely nasty. Yeah, I mean, Seattle, I would say on paper for sure won the draft. A lot of teams did good, a lot of teams did bad. Shocker. Chicago had probably the most confusing draft I've ever seen to draft a high schooler in the first round.
No, that was.
I love the Nazar, and who else did they got? The Kevin.
Korchinski.
Yeah, I mean, I like those picks, but that last pick was.
You get a high scorer and you get Peter Mrazek.
Yeah. Oh. Chicago's definitely a team we'll discuss. I'll say that at the very least.
Chicago is a team. For sure.
They are a team.
In
the words of Pierre Dorian, we're a team.
They will play in the NHL this season.
Yeah, I will say that about them. That's about as far as the compliments go. I
would say that's about it. All right. In other news, we have a big trade that obviously we're all aware of at this point, but we're going to talk about it because you have to. Obviously, we all know the biggest trade, probably, arguably in NHL history, just went down, which is Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwint, and a first-round pick going to the Calgary Flames in exchange for Matthew Tkachuk and a fourth-round pick. Both picks are conditional, lottery protected first, and the fourth, I don't really know. I'm not going to read you all that. It's a fourth-round pick. Suck it. But boys, initial thoughts on the trade?
So when I first heard it, when I first heard Tkachuk take forward, I'm like, okay, they're probably giving up, Reinhart, Weegar, and first in how many years. Then I heard Huberdeau, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? And then as I initialized it, I thought, well, first of all, Florida wouldn't be able to keep Huberdeau and Weegar, so shipping them off makes sense for them long term. well, not sorry, short term, but like I wouldn't have traded Huberdeau for Kachuk and more assets. I think Florida got worse in this trade. I think it's Calgary win. Even if they trade like flip Huberdeau and flip Uyghur, they still win the trade.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the way I view it is Calgary had no leverage and they still managed to get the best player out of the trade. I mean, that's the fact, right? Is Huberdeau might be the best winger in the league. Like that, there's an argument to be made there. If he's not the best, he's top 3 minimum, I'd say. And you got him for Kachuk, who this was his first really good year. He's a great player, undoubtedly, but he's not generational like Zito would tell you. He's a great player, but Huberdeau is probably better at this current point in time. Uyghur, he's been dynamic these past 2 years, like absolutely fantastic, and has been a huge part for Florida's resurgence. And then you get an extra pick on top of that. I mean, the fact that
you get an extra first round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sorry, go ahead.
The fact Calgary had no leverage and still managed to win the trade, even if they had Kachuk signed to an 8-year deal at the time, is ridiculous.
I think I said this in our group chat. I said Brad Treliving is a stubborn man. He will only trade if he gets the best package. And he got the best package, and he didn't waver.
I mean, you guys have already beat around the bush a little bit, but I mean, like, for me, initially I was like, I love Matthew Tkachuk. Like, he's like the number one guy I would look at in the league of like, I fucking hate to play against him, but man, would I love to have him on my team, And I respect Florida to hell for going for that kind of a guy. And I'm gonna hate playing him 4 times a year, and so is James. But I mean, Jonathan Huberdeau, like Zach alluded to, like he's fantastic. Like he is one of the best wingers in the league, and it's not like like we've mentioned Kachuk. This is his first year having just like crazy point totals. I mean, Huberdeau's already posted above 90. He's already been well above point per game he's been above point per game his last 4 seasons, and 2 of them he had 92 and 115. 115 is not like, oh, that's just happens, like I know, Florida was obviously an incredibly dynamic offensive team this year, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, Calgary had the best line in hockey with Kachuk, Kachuk, Lindholm, and Gaudreau. I mean, and I don't think, Kachuk's obviously that much of a scoring winger like Huberdeau, but I mean, to get Huberdeau, to get Uyghur, to get a first round pick, and at that point, when you're Calgary, you've got money next offseason. They've got 9.3 right now, and they have to re-sign Mangiapane and Shillington. And then next season you'll have 27 million. I mean, you're fine. You're really fucking fine.
Yeah.
I don't like how the media portrayed like the trade. Like I don't know if you guys saw some of the video that I seen. Like they're portraying Huberdeau as like this washed up like old man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's I like he's like 37. The dude's 29.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of hockey left to play. And
yeah, I mean, he's in his absolute prime, and he just scored 115. Like
he's got 6 years left at a good, very, very, very serviceable level, like elite level.
Over point per game, and like, I like it's Huberdeau. Like I don't know what else to say. Like, come on. Like,
yeah, that trade was
analysis.
It was mind-boggling to say the least. It hit on like Friday at what, like 10:30 p.m. or something. Yeah, 11. Like it was like insanely late. I was so caught off guard. I think I was drinking that night. I think Zach was definitely drinking that night, and we were just like, "What the fuck?" I literally woke up the next day and was like, "That happened."
I woke up the next morning and I was like, "What did I miss?" I see like 5 different group chats that I'm in for hockey, 9+ messages unread, and I'm like,
no, I thought I was dreaming, so I asked him, "Yo, did Matthew Tkachuk get traded to Florida?" That actually happened. Like,
no, literally, dude. It was so late. Like I walked downstairs to my dad, and I was like, "You're not gonna believe this shit. Like this just happened. Like we were out at a festival by the water for the night, and then I'm like, Matthew Tkachuk and Jonathan Huberdeau just got traded. What's the craziest trade I've ever seen?" And I'm like, of course it happens at 11 p.m. at night. Like, really? Thanks.
Or social media team too.
Yeah,
Like-
dead ass.
Poor Freed, man. Get some sleep.
Like they're
He
just
probably recorded an
interns,
episode
man,
after,
and
too.
they have to stay up till like 1 a.m. making player edits.
Seriously, dude. That was crazy. And to the trade's credit, nice credit. This whole off-season's been pretty wild. I mean,
The Brincat.
yeah, I mean, the DeBrincat trade opened it up. Giroux also went to Ottawa. I'm sure James will have a lot to say when we get to Ottawa. And amongst, big players that are going to big places, if we still got some players that are big names and haven't gone fucking anywhere. And I would like to talk about them first. And the two main ones we're going to talk about are John Klingberg and Nazem Kadri. I'll go to Kadri first because I'm sure Zach and I have a lot to say on Klingberg.
Kadri, what's the holdup? Like,
Yeah, honestly, I know we've talked about this before in group chats and stuff like that, but I think the narrative is that Kadri just completely priced himself out of the market. I bet, Kadri's 31. I've said it from the start. I like him, but I wouldn't sign him. He's 31 years old. He just had a complete career year, has never scraped numbers like he had this year. And he was probably asking for, 8+, and I would bet at least 5-6 years. And by that point, that contract's done. He's 37 making 8+. You don't ever want that. What do you guys think on Evan? What do you guys think that where do you guys think he could end up?
I'm just gonna say this right now, before I actually say where I think he's gonna end up. There was a rumor that Calgary actually offered Kadri like 9.5 by like 6. And he said, I'll think about it. And then they got Huberdeau and then they pulled their offer.
I didn't see that, but that's a ballsy play and I love it.
Yeah. Kadri has said he's not going to a team that's not a contender. Like he's made that very clear. But I'm sorry, if you're a contender, you don't have a lot of cap space.
No, that's like my main point there is like he said he wants to go to contender, but like the closest contender with money is Calgary.
Yeah.
I mean Dallas too. Dallas has money, but I don't think they've signed Robertson yet. No, they haven't signed Robo.
Yeah, Washington has cap space as well, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken.
You are mistaken. Well, they'll put Backstrom on LTIR, but that'll only give them 3.2 million.
That Kadri will take that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those situations where Kadri's not going to sign till like late August because he priced himself out of the market. So now Kadri's going to have no leverage. So he's going to go where, do you want to play hockey next year?
Yeah.
The only team that you could maybe call possibly contending just because of their history and some of the guys they have is Islanders. If they cleared a tiny bit of cap within, they have to sign Dobson still, and you can move one of the 96 terrible veterans. They could go for Kadri and they could recuperate a little bit, but also it's Nazem. If I'm Nazem Kadri, I'm not going to the Islanders.
Especially now that they lost the best coach in the league. But
Yeah. We can also talk about all the stuff the Islanders did this offseason because there's so much soon.
They're very smart, I think.
Lou Lamoriello, 2-time GM of the year.
The man's always awake. He's never sleeping.
Brain team.
Yep, great team. All right. And then to John Klingberg, which Zach and I definitely have a little bit more to say.
I have a bit to say about John.
Yeah, I'll let James is kind of loading up over there. James, you got something?
Oh no, I'm relaxing because I know you
okay.
All
right. Yeah, we'll let Zach go for this one. Zach, what do you think about John Klingberg? Where do you think he ends up?
I think he's a future Red Wings legend. I'll be honest with you. We're gonna have the most dynamic top 3 for the next 5 years after we sign John Klingberg, even though he'll only sign a 4-year deal, I think. The next 4 years we'll have John Klingberg, Simone Edvinsson, Maurice Seider. We'll win 3 cups back to back. I think that's how I'm feeling right now. But for real, I think Klingberg's going to the Wings. He's called Detroit his ultimate destination, which I don't really know what that means. I guess it means it's his preferred. It doesn't really mean preferred. I don't think. I think Stevie just sat him down and was like, "Hey, you'll be here," and he was like,
"You're gonna."
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you're Steve Eiserman."
It's like, yeah, my fault. I'll be there. No worries.
Yeah, no problem. But I just feel like John Klingberg on our second line with a guy like Olli Mata would just be a fantastic duo. Klingberg is a really good skater, which is where Mata lacks, I feel. Mata is really good defensively. He plays a really smart game, but he can barely skate, right? Well, at an NHL level, he can obviously skate, I'd hope.
Yeah, he dusts us, don't get me wrong, but at an NHL level, he could use another skater with him.
Yeah, but Klingberg is a very good transitional D. I think it makes a lot of stuff easier to where if you have a guy like Klingberg, then you could put Edvinsson on a line with Seider, which I feel would help both of them tremendously. And it would just make the whole team work better. I feel like we would go from they've improved a lot. They might squeeze into a playoff fight to they should make the playoffs. They should be up there.
Should probably be a wild card or could make a third seed, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, I would love to get John Klingberg, especially, like Stevie doesn't sign anybody, that he is going to be too old. Cop got the most term this year and he got 5 years. And he's still 28, right?
I
Cop
think
is?
28, yeah, 28.
And then Sherratt got a lot, probably more than he should have. But I mean, Sherratt's 31. He got 4 years. None of us love that contract. Don't get me wrong. But I would be shocked if Klingberg got above 5. I think 5 is the absolute limit. I think he's turning 30 right now, pretty soon here. He might even be 30 at this point in time. No, he's still 29. He's still 29. He turns 30 in August, so he'll be 30 when the season starts. And I would be shocked if he got above 5. I would say 4 is the ideal, 3 to 4. I mean, I think he would bolster our decor a ton. James?
I see Klingberg signing a 1-2 year deal to rebuild his value because I really think he wants 8, 7.
Yeah, he wanted a lot of money, and obviously what's crazy is like when you think of like he depleted his value. I mean, how many points do you think he had this year?
Didn't he only play like 50 games though?
He probably had
74.
probably had like 30. I'll guess 30, 35.
30,
40.
35? He had 47 points.
I was gonna go with 45. I would have been too off.
He had 47 points in 74 games. Like
James, you lowballed it so much that I was like, I'm gonna shoot it pretty low.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think he had an up year by any merit. There's a clip where Larkin absolutely snatched his ankles and took him to the underworld.
Love that clip.
Yeah, like absolutely just doused him, just a foot gone. I definitely don't think he was fantastic, but I definitely think he's being a little too, I would almost call it underlooked here. Like, he's still a really good defenseman. Still had a pretty solid year.
To the Red Wings, so he wants to go to the Red Wings so he doesn't have to face Larkin again.
You can't beat him, join him.
I think Klingberg's gonna go to like a team we don't expect him to go to, like a team that.
Future Red Wings legend, James.
I'll be honest. I don't see it, but it'd be interesting if he went to Boston. If Boston could get the cap room.
Boston just paid Lindholm. I would bet they probably wouldn't go for.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, that's fair though. That's definitely fair. I don't know. I mean, it's hard because like you don't hear much Red Wing stuff, right? Like like Eisenman is noted as like a steel trap. Like nothing comes out on him.
Through. You don't hear any rumors.
You don't hear any rumors ever. And then to hear just randomly that Klingberg's ultimate destination is the Red Wings, like doesn't feel like sheer.
The leaks are coming up from Klingberg. They're not coming up from either man. I don't think.
No, I mean.
I think Klingberg's agent is trying to like communicate to Eiserman through the media.
Sign me.
I do want to say that you guys did sign Robert Hagg today.
Yes, we did.
I really don't think there's room on that blue line for Klingberg.
That would be his Mark Pysyk or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, Mark Pysyk got hurt. He's out 4 to 6 months. So that's where the blue line adds room, but there's still not even much room. Yeah. So now we will get into the fun stuff. I'm in a screen share, tab friendly, and we are all gonna give about, we're gonna try to keep it short. No promises we actually keep anything short because very seldom do we. But we're gonna give ourselves, a little rundown. Each we're gonna go, 1, 2, 3 order on teams in alphabetical order, and we'll talk about, how we think each team's offseason went. Let's hope James. Host, I need screen sharing.
My bad.
I saw it coming last second. I was like, oh, wait a second. once we get screen sharing.
Mr. LeBlanc.
There we go. You should be able to do it now.
Yes, I can. Legend. All right. Now, hopefully, you guys can see my screen over here. You guys can see
Yeah.
All right, so we are gonna start off with me in the one slot. Hopefully, you guys also don't hear my Discord because it's buzzing right now.
You're good.
We're gonna go in alphabetical order as this thing has, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. I don't know. We'll go with because it's on my screen. I'll be 1, James will be 2, and Zach will be 3. So I will start with the Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim, to me, had a pretty confusing offseason. They signed Ryan Strome, which I like. You know, you get your 2C for the future, and they did sign. I think they signed Vetrano, right? I don't think that was
Yeah.
from trade.
Yeah.
But they didn't even qualify Sam Steele or Sonny Milano, which confuses me a ton because it's those guys are young. Those are guys that you want to, have around. They didn't even qualify them, and they have all the fucking money. To me, that was a very confusing move. I think their decor is super, super mediocre. I like Drysdale and Cam Fowler, but after that, it's, whatever. Their forwards definitely took a major hit, I think, though, with, losing those guys. You could have kept all those guys at reduced salary and still gotten Strome and Vetrano. I mean, you've already buried Henrique before. What's the use in doing it again if you need to, which you absolutely positively would not have. They don't have a very good, roster, in my opinion, and they're also under the cap floor, so they still have money to spend. I don't know what they have to spend. I think it's, if I went to the home screen, I could figure out. They still need to spend another 4 million, which is not the craziest, hardest thing ever to do, but I personally didn't like their off season, and I wouldn't be shocked to see them take a little bit of a step back here.
Yeah.
You click Calgary, not Arizona.
What? No, sorry, I'm doing division wise.
Oh,
Yeah. No, that's my bad. I probably could have clarified that a little bit better. But no, we're going divisional. So James, you are up with Calgary.
Oh, it's me. Okay, awesome. God, Flames fans, man, the emotions must be. Oh my God. Now I don't want to say that. I think. Listen, you lost Gaudreau for nothing. You lost Gaudreau for nothing. That's an L. That's an automatic L off the bat. But you did replace it. I think Huberdeau is a replacement for Gaudreau, and you got assets from Matthew Tkachuk. So those two kind of cancel each other out. So, but looking at the forward core here, I love your top 6. The bottom 6 though, I'm really concerned that there's not enough oomph in the bottom 6. I love Dylan Dubé, but Trevor Lewis, but Blake Coleman's a good. Will be probably second line now though because what's happening. Yeah, there's a lot of questions in the bottom 6. Maybe Zare comes up to help on the third line, but probably Connor Zare will get a shot to make the team this year. But I love Calgary's defense. They have a stacked group of
defense. They have all the defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one.
Yeah. Tanev, Uyghur, you got to sign Valimaki. I know Hannafin. People don't like him. I love Noah Hannafin and Anderson, who's just really good, and they still got to sign Killington. So I still have faith in Markstrom. I just think he had a really bad playoffs.
Yeah, no, I'd say Markstrom's fine. The playoffs, you can recover from it. I think that was also.
He was really good in the regular season, and he was even good in the playoffs until the second round. He was.
Yeah. And Dan Vladar had a really good year last year, so I am not concerned about Calgary's back end at all. It's mostly just the forwards, and I still think this is a playoff team in the Pacific, especially. It's still a playoff team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
In the Pacific for sure.
All right, next up is Zach with Edmonton.
I mean, different year, same Edmonton, right? Great forward core. They have McDavid. They have Draisaitl, but they overpay a ton of guys. It's just the same year. It's a different year, but it's the same Edmonton. I like the Kane contract. I actually thought that was pretty affordable for a guy who's probably going to net you 40-50. He played really well with McDavid, 40-50 with McDavid, I should clarify that. He wouldn't do it if he was on any other person's line, I don't think. But yeah, they worked really well together, and getting at $5 million was extremely affordable. Then you move on to the Jack Campbell deal, where it's like, it was a pretty hefty contract. And the question is, was he actually good, or was it just he was playing behind a really stacked Toronto team? That's what we're gonna find out, because let's be real, Edmonton's defense is not even close to how good Toronto's is. Toronto, he's playing with Cody Ceci, who's probably gonna be on the second line this year. Maybe third.
I'm not a big Jack Campbell fan at all. If you're looking as Edmonton and you're looking for that answer in net, and you think it's Jack Campbell, I would believe you have another thing coming.
And you never know. It could be. Maybe he's not a fraud, right? But I think odds are he's a fraud, and this is another one of those way overpaid, way long-term deals that Edmonton have given out to their last two goalies. Three actually, Cam Talbot too.
Yeah, I do like Jack Campbell. I think he's a good guy, but you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out real quick, if you're getting like early season Campbell on this deal, or you're getting inconsistent February Campbell, who was just the worst goalie I've ever seen, other than Matt Murray. I had to put that out there.
I forgot to mention Puljujärvi too. I would be remiss to not talk about that and all of the trade talks that he's been involved in. I think
surprised he's still there.
He probably should not be traded. He was one of their better forwards last year, but I get it. They don't have that much cap, right?
I just want to see how he did. He had a good year. They don't.
Yeah, he's a fine player too. Big energy guy, gives a lot to the team, but like they don't have any cap to sign him. So I understand trading him, but I probably would have rather kept him for like you probably could have gotten him for relatively cheap too, than sign a guy like Jack Campbell.
The reason Puljujärvi's still there is because Ken Holland's they're mad they're not getting like good offers for him. We're like, what? You don't want him? What the hell? Like that's why he's still there. And
you have no leverage.
You have no leverage. When teams know you want to get rid of someone, they're like, yeah, I want your best player. How about I give you this third round pick instead? How about I
look at McDonough, right? Future considerations.
Yeah.
McDonough, future considerations. Pacioretty, future considerations.
Yeah.
You have no leverage, and you should have all the leverage. This is a 24-year-old two-way forward. Like he's not just like trading away Matthias Janmark. Yeah,
overall pick.
He's a good player with potential still there. To want to even dump him in the first place, and then you go and sign Matthias Janmark. I'm sure if they could do stuff over again, they would have probably let Ryan Nugent-Hopkins walk, and they're fucked because he has an
They would have done everything over again if they could have.
Yeah, you've still got 3 unsigned forwards that should be on your roster.
Nurse contract, man.
Yeah, that Nurse contract. That's
I forgot about the Nurse contract. Jesus.
Yeah, and that kicks in now, and I just want to throw up. That's like my least favorite contract of all time, I think, other than the Seth Jones, maybe. Like those two might be my least favorite contracts ever.
I just want to say Edmonton's lucky they got McDavid and they're in the Pacific Division, because if they were in any other division, I don't think it's a playoff team.
And they have Draisaitl at a relatively affordable deal for his skills.
For now.
Yeah, seriously.
They gotta pay him in what,
No, he's gone when that deal expires.
Yeah, they will not have cap to sign him. He'll want like a lot of money.
Unless even if they win a cup, I could definitely see. Yeah, he gone.
Yeah. All right. On to the next team. We're gonna go to LA. It's back to me, and LA had the early season big trade, which was acquiring Kevin Fiala. I don't remember exactly what the trade was, so we'll go check real quick.
It was Brock Faber and the 19th overall pick for Kevin Fiala.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was an early off-season trade, and I like that trade a ton, especially, like for LA. They needed more offense last year. Like, I really liked watching LA play. I've said that 1,000,001 times, and I'll say it 1,000,002 more times. But they definitely need more offense if they're gonna, get better and continue to compete like they did last year. And this is a great way to do it, to acquire Kevin Fiala, who had an absolutely fantastic year. I think it's LA. You need a little bit more. You need probably a bit more from these young guys like Quentin Byfield, Arthur Kaliev and Alex Turcotte. You need those guys to really step into better roles and probably a little bit more from Tobias Bjornfoot. I can't pronounce these weird fucking names. And you also need Cal Patterson to return to some form. This was like James's fucking guy last offseason too. You need Cal Patterson to come back and give a little bit more. But otherwise, like I like their team. I don't really like. I look now.
Last year.
Yeah. I look now and I'm like, it's hard with LA because like they have a lot of good pieces, but a lot of
their
like
coaching is so good.
Yeah, their coaching is definitely fantastic, but like I feel like their development was so brutal. Like like you look at where Stützle and Raymond are right now, and you look at Byfield and you're like, what the fuck?
I will be fair. Byfield's been injured.
He has, yeah, and that's completely fair. But I mean, it's not like no, we don't. It's not like Kaliev has been fantastic, and it's not like Bjornfoot has been fantastic, and it's not like Turcotte's been fantastic. Cooper either. I mean, Velarde obviously as well has fallen off the map. I mean, none of these guys have really come in and done anything.
I mean, I will say LA's good like development. You got to look at their blue line. Mikey Anderson, Sean Durzi was really, really good last year.
Yeah, and obviously Matt Waugh, he came out of kind of nowhere. I think he was a late pick. Yeah, 7th round. Yeah, that one worked. Their D-core development, good. But their forwards, I think you need a lot more from these young guys. And I think you need to they need to figure it out a little bit faster. Because, I mean, if you're going to keep acquiring, last season they got Deneau and Arvidsson. And then this season they get, Fiala. I think you need a little bit more from those young guys.
Kopitar's not there forever.
Yeah.
No, Kopitar's pretty close to gone. He had a good, he might stay around, an extra year or two. He had a good year last year.
He'll get a legacy contract.
Yeah, exactly. He'll stay around just
to develop to replace Kopitar is what they need.
Yeah, and they need more development. I like them. I can't complain at all about how their offseason went, but I am very curious to see what happens for them next year.
I'm just concerned about their goaltending and their bottom six. That's my main reason. Like Cal Patterson, I hyped that dude up so much last offseason. And my man just shit the bed. Like
yeah, that was
he was quite mid. He was quite mid.
Coming up next, James, San Jose.
Oh, let's get into it here. So I love the Mike Grier hiring, by the way. I think it's a really good hire.
Yep.
But this team, just throw it away. Like, I mean, like you're not good enough to compete, and you're not bad enough to be like a first overall pick contender. I think I said this for years. They got to rebuild, and I know it's hard, especially with like look at that Vlasic contract. Oh my god.
Yeah, the Vlasic is the one that hurts the absolute most. Obviously, I know Carlson's making a lot too, but Carlson's at least useful. Vlasic's like he's a bottom pair guy.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why Doug wasn't signing all these guys till they're like 40. Like, I love like Timo Meier, Couture, and Hurdle. Like that's great. But after that, like you brought in Luke Kunin and Steven Lorentz, like this, and like I know Doug wasn't like we can still contend. Mike Grier's like, well, I don't know about that. It's like. I like how he's finally bringing some like realism to this. I think Reimer or Aiden Hill, one of them is getting traded, or because I'm sorry, you have 3 goalies on the roster,
3 solid goalies to NHL level.
And I love James Reimer. I saw him play in Ottawa, and he's underrated. He's fantastic. Aiden Hill's a good young goalie. But get value for one of them. Like get value when you need it. LeBlanc is in trade rumors, I know, but I mean, this team is going to be in a transition year. I think they're really going to sell at the deadline with the things like I think I can see Meier being one of the key guys at the deadline that might get dealt.
Meier's been in rumors for a little bit now,
and he
wouldn't be shocked.
It's going to be a transition year. It's going to be a rough year in San Jose. I think signings like. I don't think they even did any signings now that I think about it. I can't.
Not much.
Yeah, it's a transition year. There's no need to even get out and get anybody. This is going to be an overhaul, and I think it's not going to be like a full-on rebuild, but it's going to be like a hey, let's get back to relevance.
Yeah, I think they should deep dive in a rebuild. One concern of mine with San Jose is, are you just about to completely waste Thomas Hurdle? They just gave him that big ass contract, and it's like, as Hurdle, personally, I would have never signed that contract with San Jose. And to me, it's like he's just like, they're going to be rebuilding for another 2-3 years at least, and maybe 4 possibly, because I don't even think they've hit their floor at all. They just obviously traded away Brent Burns, so that hurts your decor in whatever way you look at it. I think it's going to take a while for this team to get back to actual relevancy.
Yeah, like the decor is like not good. Like it's like you got Carlson, who I still think has some left in the tank, and that's
He
about
does
it.
when he's healthy for sure.
He is like when he's healthy, he can definitely not play to what he was in Ottawa, but he can definitely still be an above average defenseman.
He's a top 2 defense. He's a second defenseman when he's healthy. He's just never healthy.
Alrighty. Next team, Zach, Seattle.
This team has arguably the best winger depth in the league at this point.
Yeah, dude, they are all wingers.
Like it's legitimately insane how good their wingers are. Where like you look at this list right here: Eberle, Schwartz, Burakovsky, Bjorkstrand, who they got for nothing. Gord can play there. McCann can play there. They got Donskoy. They still have Sprong? I think they might. I think they
have
got
Tanev
Sprong, right?
too. Yeah, Tanev.
Right.
No, I don't think they qualified Sprong.
You know, Sprong.
They didn't.
Sprong went to Washington, I think.
Yep. I think he circled back.
Well, yeah, and then the only real worry is like they need a center to jump up, right? Like obviously you can play McCann there, and I like McCann as a center, but I think he's a better left winger than he is a center. And maybe one of Beniers or Wright could step up like that. There's a real chance where one of them are just like fantastic, but maybe you don't want to put all trust into that.
Yeah, I was going to say
their decor is weak to say the least. Like it's not very good at all. I think it's probably where their winger core is one of the best. Their decor is pretty much the exact opposite of that. It's probably a bottom 5 core in the league. And their goalies, you'd hope Grubauer can have a bounce back year, but who knows?
If you get Grubauer from last year, this will be the worst goaltending tandem in the league because Drieger's out for 6 months. He's tore his ACL.
Yeah. That's what I was looking for, is trying to figure out what happened here that they did sign Martin Jones. Because I know they signed all the fucking goalies. Like they have good goalies in the AHL too.
Yeah.
Magnus Hellberg. I want
Red Wings legend
on the wings.
Red Wings legend. Joey Decord. I can't say enough about Joey Decord. Sens legend.
We got 2 Sens and Wings legends over to Seattle. Love to see it.
I love what Seattle did this offseason. I really do.
Yeah.
I think they did amazing. I think they could be a team that surprises people.
With the division too?
Yes, with the division. And I hate saying that because listen, Pacific fans, your division is not good. Like it's not up to par of anything else in the league.
No, it's just not.
It's not like
if I had to just make one bold play about Seattle right now, is I would say that you guys mentioned you need a center to come into the fold and be that guy. James and I have talked about Beniers was really fucking good at the end of the last season. I would not be shocked to see if Beniers be able to come in and take that 1C role and work his way into real Calder candidacy.
Real Candle.
Dude, that was a fucking brutal start, wasn't it? Yeah, and I can't say enough good things. They kept it simple. They took Shane Wright at 4. Absolutely, how can you argue? They got Bjorkstrand for a 3rd and a 4th. Absolutely.
Yeah, he might be arguably a top 100 player in the league, and they got him
for chump change.
Nothing. At a decent contract too. Like it's not like he's tremendously overpaid. He's paid a very, very
fairly paid, and it's
nice to see.
Yeah. My only concern with them is I would say that I don't know what they're gonna do with Shane Wright. If they play him, great. I don't like playing Wright and Beniers down the middle in the same year. I'd rather
I would say just space it, put like Wright on like the 3rd line and have McCann be your 2C. I don't think that would be like any recipe for
even
failure.
Gord. You could have Gord there.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna like, I would say see how Shane Wright does in his trial, and then if he doesn't, he's not off to snuff, send him back to Kingston.
Right on the third line with Donskoy, I feel like would work though.
I do want to mention that Shane Wright plays in the OHL. They missed a whole year, so he's missed a year of development. So it would not be a bad thing for him to go back.
For sure. Moving on, Vancouver. Listen, maybe I'm missing it, but the only move I can think of is a move that I absolutely hate. I know that Nils Hoglander's been in trade rumors, which I think is absolutely idiotic. I don't know why he's a guy that, you look at this team and you're like, oh, let's move someone. You think him. I know Brock Besser just got a little bit of a new deal. But the one thing that I'm alluding to is this Ilya Mikheyev contract.
But he learned how to shoot.
I can't think of even one defense for giving Ilya Mikheyev a modified no trade clause in 4 years at 4.7 for a career high of 32 points.
Well, he learned how to shoot.
Fuck you. Fuck your shooting. I'm pretty sure, his career high is 32 points. Don't get me wrong, he missed some games, but your career high is 32 points. You get almost $5 million for 4 years.
I do want to mention he was playing with Tavares last year.
Yeah, he was playing with absolutely fantastic players. What, Tavares and Nylander?
Yeah. I could probably
give me Tavares and Nylander. I'll put up a few. Yeah, I mean, fuck. And within that, when I look at Vancouver's roster, I'm like, man, this is the most mediocre team I could think of, and they're over the cap.
They're in such a bad spot. Like they're in such a bad spot.
That's a very accurate thing to say about them, though. They're so mediocre.
Like they're almost like the Wild in the mid 2010s.
Yeah, in the mid, where it's like
okay,
they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, they could make the playoffs. They
won't.
No, the Wild were making the playoffs.
Yeah, the Wild would make the playoffs.
Oh wait, you mean Wild from like the early 10s or like Wild from the
no, mid 10s when the Red Wings are still making the playoffs, but barely. Yeah, no, I mean like they could make the playoffs again.
And then they'll play the Blues. They'll lose, is why
it's like.
I do want to say for Vancouver, I do like the Kuzmenko signing and the Lazar signing. I think those two are really good. Though they promised to place Kuzmenko in the top 6, which I don't know how you're going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how you can sign Mikheyev and then say you're going to play him unless your trade chip is. Well, they've also obviously been mentioned to move JT Miller.
And
which if you move,
he's not resigning. There's
if you move JT Miller, you're probably pretty fine, especially on cap space. But yeah,
then your team gets the whole lot.
I do want to say
that dog in him.
If you wanted to move JT Miller, you would have done it by now.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
Like they fumbled the bag on that. They should have traded him at the deadline.
Oh, all right.
Wait,
next team.
Who's Vancouver's backup now? Because they lost.
It says Martin Spencer, and I don't even know who that is.
That is a 27-year-old career AHLer. We are going to pass.
Yeah.
I do want to say how fast that Canucks fans also turn on their players.
He had a really good year.
He did.
Yeah, the Canucks will be interesting. I'll say that. How about that? James, you get the pleasure of covering the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh,
that is lucky.
There.
Yeah, I was almost gonna hotwire it and give myself Vegas somehow, but I'll let James take this one.
I do want to say before we start, there are those accusations that players don't want to go to Vegas because of management, and like
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them on how they treat players. They couldn't really do much. They were over the cap by a couple mil, I assume. But
yeah, they're still over by a bit, and they still have to resign Walk, Colasar, and Haig.
I'll be honest, I really don't like the Vegas, and Leonard might not be ready for next season. Like that's one of the things as well. Though Thompson played pretty well, I will say. Logan Thompson did.
Yeah, that was gonna be my one point, is that Logan Thompson was absolutely fantastic. I think they're pretty fine if Logan Thompson can repeat a bit of what he had last year. I thought he was just phenomenal. But yeah, sorry, I won't intrude it in.
Yeah. So, but I really don't think this team is better than last year. I don't think this team they have great players at exorbitant rates. I don't know. Like I can't gauge Vegas right now. Like
It's hard. It's definitely hard. If they had, everybody under contract, I would say I could get a little bit better of a gauge for them. But Laner being questionable is a big thing. And then I think their biggest X factor will be Jack Eichel. I think,
mhm.
no shit. If Jack Eichel can be Jack Eichel, I think they're super fine. But it's a huge worry, obviously. I don't think he was bad last year. I think he definitely got a lot of it too much hate. I've said that before. But if he can come in and, reform to Jack Eichel, I think Vegas is fine. Jack Eichel and Mark Stone is
Who?
like a dream duo to have.
Wait, who?
Jack Eichel?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I do want to say Vegas is very top heavy.
They are. They have like their forward core is definitely going to be a top heavy. I also think a huge thing though is that we didn't really mention, and we haven't really mentioned. Has anybody else been in the same boat? No. The big thing that I think Vegas has going for them is new head coach Bruce Cassidy.
Yeah, and I love that hire. I think it's a great
Yeah,
hire.
that's a phenomenal coach.
Peter DeBoer was fucking awful. His style, like I'm a Vegas fan. I've made that known. Like Vegas is my second team. Watching their style with DeBoer was horrendous. It was like they had zero forecheck. They had zero tenacity. I almost said it completely wrong and probably should have really.
You saved it though. You saved
I
it.
did. I recovered. Doing bad at that today, but no, they were just like if it didn't develop off the rush, it was who cares, and I think Bruce Cassidy's gonna be strict on like you're gonna be fucking mean, you're gonna be tough, and I think that's a style that a lot of these guys like. For these three, especially Carlson, Marchessault, Smith, I mean they were the original misfits. I think if they can get to a good style like that again under Cassidy, I think that second line could do some damage, but. Vegas they're in a very interesting spot. They're in the best division for them to figure their shit out, but it'll be interesting.
Damn you, Pacific Division.
Dead ass, bro. Zach, you get the mispleasure of covering the Arizona Coyotes.
Bad team. That's my analysis. They are a bad team.
Out the gates, top rope.
I'll be real with you. There's nothing I see that I go, wow, that is a good spot. I believe in them in the future there. Nah, that decor. They went back to the Detroit Red Wings 2019 season, bringing in Patrick.
Hey, bro, they've got
Nemeth
two of them.
I mean, we're back there. This is Detroit 2019 all over again. And honestly, not a bad year to do it. There's Connor Bedard and Matvei Michkov in the draft. I don't blame you. However,
if there was ever a team to describe this sound, it's Arizona.
It's just you look at it, and like half these players are not NHLers.
No.
They're just certified scrubs. That's all they are. And Nick Ritchie is going to be a top 6 player on that team. Like that's how I'm going to describe that team. Their starting goalie is Vejmelka. I don't know what else to say other than bad.
Yep, that's fair. I mean, they're definitely gonna be bottom 3 again for me.
The only thing, just scroll up with what's a little bit there. Why the hell do you have 4 second-round picks in 2025? I just want to put that out there. Like,
how did that actually happen? Truthfully, how do you have that far away second-round picks? Obviously, I know they picked up. This one is from taking Nemeth. This one is from taking Cassian. What is this one?
Oh, what is
Nick
that
Ritchie.
one?
Oh, Ritchie, and they got Zinga and Lashub.
Why would you make that trade though during the year?
Weird.
That is such an NHL 22 trade from Toronto.
No, and like
I love that.
Like this team, like I'm surprised. Like this is gonna be so they're gonna be worse than last year, and like last year was bad. Like this is gonna be.
Yeah. They're just not good.
You signed Josh Brown. You know it's over when you sign Josh Brown. Like, you know you don't want to do anything.
I just feel bad for Schmaltz and Keller. Like,
yeah, facts.
I feel like
what did they do to deserve this?
No, even Chicken's like, bro, please just end me. Like end my suffering.
I don't think I've ever
Yeah,
seen
Chikrin-
more
But
fourth
Chikrin
line
wasn't
players.
even good last year. Like Chikrin was
Yeah.
not good.
To be fair, Chikrin was not great last year, but neither were the Coyotes in general.
No, but Schmaltz and Keller
That's a
were
good point, but
sustainable.
Gostisbehere was really solid last
He was
year.
really solid. Schmaltz was good too. Schmaltz. Yeah, it's just, and like, I think Krause had a good year too last year. Like when I saw him play, he was fantastic.
Yeah, but the team is bad.
The team is
So,
bad. I'm not
we
I'm not
move
saying
on.
they're good. I'm not.
We move on. They might
They're
be
bad.
worse than the Red Wings.
They're bad.
They might
They're bad.
be worse than the Red Wings.
They're gonna have in 4 home games. They'll have less people in the arena than Montreal has in 1 home game.
W.
I would
W
stretch that
arena.
out, dude. I'd be really fucking
Arena.
shocked if they even got a sellout crowd of 5,000 fans. So I'm not going to say it's an overly exciting year coming up for Arizona at all.
Yeah,
Speaking of not fun years coming up.
If I was a Coyote fan, which who is, I would not be attending any of their games.
Evan,
No, I would never.
Sorry.
That's my advice to the 4 people out there.
Yeah. Speaking of bad teams, bad Chicago.
We're doing the analysis.
Bad.
The most advanced analysis you guys are ever gonna get.
Yeah, this is top tier. You guys should never complain. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind their draft, like I'm a big Frank Nazar fan. I've said that 1,000,004 times. I like Kaczynski too.
You've
Hated
mentioned
their
it.
other first round pick. Their everything else though is suck.
Yeah.
You just let go of everybody and everything. You traded Alex DeBrincat for I'm gonna say it again. It's the Family Guy meme where Peter's got to pick between a boat or a mystery box, and he goes, "The mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat." And that's like having Alex DeBrincat and then trading him for a first, second, and third. Like you could have Alex DeBrincat, or you could have these picks that could be Alex DeBrincat. I can't make any sense of ever trading away a 24-year-old
24, yeah.
40 goal scorer ever.
A guy
ever.
you build your rebuild around.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
complaining.
you're still keeping Tyler Johnson.
No, but they were building a super team.
They have
remember?
no forward
That's what
signed
we said
past
last
2025.
Dude, the guys that are going to be playing on there, like Taylor Radish, Boris Kachuk, Reese Johnson.
No, Taylor
Mike
Radish was a dog
Hardman.
for the World Juniors Canada.
Okay,
Dude, Taylor Radish,
He was a
fucking
dog.
franchise mode legend. All right, but otherwise,
He had that dog in him in franchise. He had,
I do want to say it's like their forward, like their bottom 6, like that. It's like that meme with Patrick. Who are you people?
no, Boris Kachuk. He was like a mid top 6. I remember.
Yeah, dude, he could get up there. He was probably pretty good for your third line in a lot of years.
Also, Patrick Kane. I'm so sorry. Like,
yeah, dude, seriously, get the fuck out of there. Like,
He's
leave.
trying. They're
Yeah.
saying no.
We're
We're rebuilding. We have to keep you.
I don't want to sit on this team for too long because we all know what it's going to be for Blackhawks
Yeah, I'm
this
gonna
year.
puke if we keep talking.
Yeah, we can move on. James, you got Colorado. This is
Oh.
a good one.
good.
Yep, good.
Yeah.
You don't really got much you got to say about this one.
You
Stanley
lost.
Cup champions.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you had to pay the cup tax. So you lost Kemper and you lost Burakovsky, but you at least brought people in that could not be better than them. But like you took a risk with Gorgiev. I will say that. But Francouz is solid. Like
He's healthy.
yeah. Defense, goated.
Yeah.
Forward
Cool.
core, pretty good. Brought back vets. New Hook's gonna come into his own. So there's not really much to say here. Nick Jushkin getting paid though.
Yup. He got all the fucking money, and they've got to worry about big dog Nate McKinnon next year.
I was like,
Yeah,
Nate McKinnon's gonna take a.
He's taking a pay cut.
Oh, I said Nate McKinnon's taking. Here's the thing: when players get their cup, they want to get paid.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit different now. Like as Nate
I get
McKinnon, he
it
was
now,
okay
because-
with taking a pay cut when he had to keep the team together to get to the cup, but now he's won the cup.
Yeah, but
if I'm
every
McKinnon, I'm
single
not
player
taking
who's
a
ever
cut.
won has said they feel like winning the next cup more.
That's true. Yeah, I mean it's probably like potato chips. You can't just have one.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
Good
Yeah,
analogy. I like that analogy.
Thanks,
That's
man.
a good
Give me that.
idea. Who the fuck has one potato chip?
Dude,
Like,
seriously, you can't just have one potato chip. Like if
Yeah,
you
but who
if
has
you grab
two?
a bag of potato chips, you unroll them, you go, hump, done. Yeah, go away.
yeah.
Fair
Not much
point,
to
though.
say. Josh Manson coming back. I like that signing because I think Josh Manson is really good in the playoffs. Though Josh Manson in season for the Ducks wasn't great. I just want to put that out there. Yeah, like it's you paid your cup tax. You gained gained new guys come in and man down the fort. I think you're still gonna win the division. Like you're still good unless Gorgiev and Frantos fall off a cliff. Then
Yeah. Yeah, the goaltending is their biggest concern, but obviously the decor is stacked and your forwards, all you really need is that top line and a little bit of secondary scoring. And that top line is so fucking dominant.
even with Burakovsky gone, like and Kadri probably not coming back, it's just still a great forward core. Like
Yeah. No, I mean Newhook is a very good, like Newhook's evidently going to be depth and like Newhook's fantastic.
He can take a bigger role easily. He can definitely take
Mhm.
Burakovsky's
when I went
role.
to the Sens Avs game, Newhook did a dang like run. Like I was like front row, right from my ass, like deked out everyone. Dude is nasty.
Yeah, he's clean. Yeah, Colorado should be fine. They're just they'll have some tidying to do, we'll call it,
Yeah.
Zach, Dallas.
I mean, they haven't done that much this offseason, other than their owners continuing. Yeah, Mason Marchman, I know. Other than their owners continuing to slate Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin.
Oh, dude.
They can. He just loves to bully.
Unreal, dude.
That's his
Jim Neal
third
went at them
pastime.
last year. Now the owner just like he's going in for the brutality, Mortal Kombat style.
Finish them. Like, that's what they went for. And they kind of deserve it. They don't deserve those contracts, admittedly, but
No,
I
definitely
feel like they've had a pretty solid free agency. Mason Marchment was really good last year. Like, what was he? Almost point per game.
Yeah, he had incredibly underrated stats.
He was the most underrated player in the league last year. I'd
Sorry,
say.
yeah. He had about 47 points.
Yep, 47 and 54. I mentioned him a little bit before free agency, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is a guy to watch out for because he was nasty.
They still have Jason Robertson to sign, obviously, and
Did
I
they
think-
sign Ottinger?
Nope, they still have Ottinger and Robo,
and
which is
Robertson,
really
and only
hard because
11
you
mil
do only have
left.
11 mil. But
Ooh.
they
I
can.
think how they deal with that situation, like we're almost not into their offseason. We're in more than into the offseason to grade most teams free agency, but they still haven't signed their two big dogs that they had to sign.
Big dog.
And if they sign both of them without losing any pieces, and you gain Mason Marchment, you're looking at that team and you're like, you know what? Ottinger was fantastic in the playoffs. Like playoff Ottinger was the most different goalie I've seen, man. Like he was saving everything. I felt so bad for Calgary. They just could not score on him. Yeah, but if they handle that situation well enough and sign both of them to relative contracts to their skill, and they're both fantastic players, then you'll say that's a good free agency and that they are the Wild that we talked about. The mid 2010s Wild. They're going to make the playoffs. They might win round one. They're not winning the cup.
I do want to say, how does Peter DeBoer keep getting work?
Dude, I don't understand. He was so bad for Vegas, like
But
monumentally.
do you remember when he
Peter DeBoer
he made a comeback with San Jose in like 2018 versus Vegas?
Oh, dude, you remember his one claim to fame and his mediocrity before, during, and after?
So Dallas, enjoy your deep playoff run this year, because then it's not going to happen ever again.
Yeah, that's essentially what it's going to be for Dallas.
Yeah.
I get the Wild, I believe. Yeah.
Lucky boy.
I don't know because I think the Wild had a pretty unassuming year, which is fine.
Other
than the Fiala trade, man, are those buyouts coming to haunt you? Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because like if you didn't buy those guys out, you still have Kevin Fiala, but at the same time, you had to buy those guys out, and I don't argue with the Suter and Parise buyouts at all. they obviously traded Talbot away and kept Marc-Andre Fleury. I think that was probably the right move. They kind of tarnished everything with Talbot at the end of the year, so it completely makes sense to me, and I'm completely fine with it. They obviously got rid of Fiala as well, and they really didn't do anything in free agency, which is fine, really. I mean, they have a really good core. I mean, Kirill
Boldy is so
Kaprizov. What's up?
Boldy's so good.
Yeah, Boldy's disgusting. Obviously, we all know about Kaprizov. Zuccarello and Kaprizov have fantastic
Yeah,
chemistry.
from Russia.
True. Joel Eriksson Ek is sick. The only thing that I don't really like is definitely don't like their center core. If you're gonna end up running Tyson Yost as your second line center, I think you're in some trouble there.
Use yourself. Frederick Goudreau was their second line center last year.
My bad. Either way.
Excuse yourself. Get it right.
Yeah, I mean,
either way, I'll upgrade it.
I definitely
there's not a big change, is there?
I like their up front, but losing Fiala hurts a lot, especially for your offense. You know, obviously Eriksson Ek is one of the more defensive minded players out there.
Yep.
Your depth is not great, but you'll probably still make playoffs, which is fine. But you kind of have to deal with Colorado, so I don't know how much luck you're gonna have.
Poor guys.
Yeah. Other than that, didn't mind the drafts. I don't really have much else to say. You're just waiting on Wallstead, and if you can get Carson Lambos to develop well or Kalen Addison, you're doing fine.
Enjoy Philip Gustafson. He's not good.
Next up, James, Smashville.
Oh, Smashville. Congratulations, you got Phil Forsberg back.
Raise a banner.
This team, I like Saros. I like their goaltending coming up as well. Lankinen's not a bad signing either for that cap. You got the second best defenseman in hockey. A lot of big contracts though, like a lot of big contracts that, like, I'm sorry, the Johansson deal. How have you not bought him out yet? That's the one player I'm just concerned about. And they did sign Neo Niederreiter. That Luke, I was going to say that, but you
don't know.
I saw it.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, Niederreiter got signed to a decent term, and I like that deal.
I would arguably say one of the better contracts, one of the best this offseason.
But they do have a lot. I'm looking at this now. They do have a lot of guys going to be coming up their ELC like soon.
Not a lot of like important guys. I think Carrier is the only guy that I would worry about. I like Carrier, but otherwise it's just kind of.
Tomasino, Marcus Neri Sens legend. Tanner Janot. Yeah, Yakov Trenin. Those are the only.
Tanner Janot was really underrated last year. I actually forgot about Tanner Janot. Point being, underrated.
Yeah. They got John Leonard, who. Yeah, like he's not.
He's a hockey player.
Yeah, he's right. Nashville. I think Nashville is gonna contend in the West. I don't think they're a playoff team though. Even with, like.
It's hard.
If Saros can play like he did last year, then definitely I can see him in the playoffs. But
you need Duchesne and Johansson to each have the years that they just had. I'm pretty sure Johansson had a pretty sick year, but the biggest thing is Saros. If you don't have Saros, you're fucked. And it didn't help any bit of their case that they instantly win against the Juggernaut in Colorado. But you definitely need Saros to stay healthy.
And they need a right-handed defenseman. Their left side is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
McDonough.
Yeah. McDonough was a great trade too. Great trade.
Yeah, you can't complain with the McDonough trade. Obviously, his cap hit isn't great, but to get a free Ryan McDonough, and I don't think they were exactly strict for cap, and I don't really know that they're going to be much strict for cap next season. So I think they're okay here.
The thing about McDonough too is that he's still underrated because he plays on a team that has Victor Hedman. So people aren't going to talk about him as much, but he's still a premier defenseman in the league.
Yeah, I like McDonough. I think it's a good get for them. I just don't think in this division they're going to be top 3.
No, you're not beating Colorado. That's the issue.
Yeah,
you're not beating Colorado. You're not beating St. Louis, and I don't think you beat Minnesota.
I think they could beat Minnesota if I had to pick one of them.
Really close right now. I'd probably take Nashville over Minnesota.
Maybe I take Dallas.
Minnesota lost Fiala, right? That Fiala loss hurt, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I just realized they didn't get anyone to replace Fiala, so
No, they didn't. That's the biggest thing is they just don't have the cap space for it. They just really don't. Next up, Zach, you have the St. Louis Blues.
Now, let's start by saying St. Louis should stop doing business with Steve Yzerman. It's clear that it's a bad decision every time. We got Husso now. The Red Wings just got Husso for a 3rd round pick, and then they replaced him with Thomas Greiss, who was undoubtedly not good for us last year.
Yep.
It was factually bad.
Thomas Greiss was not good last year at all. Like not good.
Not good. Not good.
Compared to
Bad.
Husso, who was
Bad.
fantastic. Husso was great. You have you lost Perron in the offseason too. That hurts.
Where'd he go?
I think
What's that team,
was it?
dude?
I think the Red Wings. I think the Red Wings.
No way.
Future Red Wings legend David Perron. But yeah, you lost 2 players who were pretty good for them last year. Obviously, Perron, he trailed off a bit midway through the season, but then he picked it right back up in the playoffs. He was great in the playoffs. You signed Thomas to an exorbitant deal. You're obviously hoping
Insane word choice.
you're obviously thanks, Luke. You're obviously hoping that he does what he did last year, where he was so good, like so elite. He was probably their best player last year, but that was his 1 year of doing that, right? So you don't know if he can repeat it. And signing him on an 8-year deal at that term, and the 8-year deal doesn't even start till next year.
Thomas had 57 assists. Like he was
Yeah.
really, yeah.
He was
so
absolutely
good.
fantastic, but I would have never given him that contract.
Not that at that term too. Like
Yeah.
that,
You gave him that
that's
off of
so-
1 season of being good.
That's so long, and I get maybe you go, hey, if he has another season like that, he's asking for $10 million.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? And so the question is, do you really want to risk it? And I get that, and obviously that contract could pay off, right? But if it doesn't, it doesn't, and it hurts you. But they signed Letty to a not so good deal.
Not so good is a vastly bad understatement.
It's bad.
It's
bad.
Bad.
It's not a very good deal.
Bad.
And then they have a ton of free agents to sign next year. Like you.
Oh
look
yeah,
at
no,
that.
I was just saying, you got to sign O'Reilly, Tarasenko, Kyrou, Barbashev.
Like that is crazy. Kyrou especially, he's gonna get a huge pay increase because he's been good for the past few years.
Kyrie, almost Calgary Flames legend.
Almost, yeah. Yeah, but this team is gonna be good again next year, even though they've made some questionable offseason moves.
Concerned.
Because they have a really good team, but their management just isn't as good as the team is, sadly.
Yeah, they've got a fun off season next year.
Yeah.
That Robert Thomas contract could bite you in the ass in about 14 seconds.
Sir, we said this last year about Calgary, saying they had those 4 key free agents. They have 4 key free agents. They're not going to bring all of them back.
No, absolutely. Next up is your boy with the Winnipeg Jets, and if I could describe them in one single word, it would be directionless. I don't understand what they've done at all. Obviously, the Pierre-Luc Dubois situation is not one that any team wants to be in. It's really a bad fucking look on PLD's part to be like, I want to go to, of all teams, Montreal. And I completely respect, you want to play for your hometown, but dog, just wait a year until you can just be a UFA. Why do you got to sit there and demand a trade to
I hate it
Montreal? Listen, dude.
Go home.
Don't get me wrong. If I'm a player and I have an NTC, Winnipeg's on my NTC. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want to go to Winnipeg either, but you're 24 and you've never done shit. You're not the guy that can sit there and be like, I want to be traded and I want to be traded to this team. You've had 2 good years, and don't get me wrong, they've both been good years, but You're fucking nobody.
You've never had over 30 goals in a
You're a
season.
second line center that's eclipsed, 60 points twice and barely 60 points was 60 and 61. Like, take a chill pill, bro. Get a reality check. You're not that, but you're not that guy. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, Pat.
I mean, I don't know. Rick Bowness is just like going and signing Paul Maurice, but older. I think that's the
It's
worst.
his dad. It's So we also signed Big
bad
Save
thing.
Dave, which also is a walking L.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep the puck out of the net, right?
No, but he makes big saves, no?
Yeah, like he needs to retire that dog.
This is Moose. He's coming for a special visit.
But like Winnipeg, like honestly, like I hate this. I hate the direction you're in. I hate the situation you're in because there's nothing like.
No, absolutely. It's just like I love some of your guys. Obviously, I can't be a bigger fan of Kyle Connor or Nikolai Ehlers. I think they're both just fantastic players. I've always been a Nick Ehlers fan. I've always been a Kyle Connor fan. Can't complain about those guys. But after that, your bottom, Scheifele's 6 too. But your bottom 6 is.
He fell off.
Hold on.
Scheifele still was like point per game almost at the end of the season.
Let me
He went on a
describe.
serious streak there.
Let me describe their bottom. Oh, their bottom 6. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Who the fuck are these
Their bottom
guys?
Mason Appleton.
Dude, who's Morgan
No, Dominic-
Barron?
Yeah.
Dominic Toretto?
Didn't he wasn't he on the Grand Rapids?
Isn't that guy from Fast and Furious?
Grand Rapids legend, I'm pretty sure, right?
You're thinking of Dominic Turgeon. Not quite.
So they even got the Dollarama Dominic Turgeon.
I think it's
Morgan Bedon has a dog in him.
Oh my God, how you have Nate Schmidt at 5.9 for 3 more years?
Brutal.
I think Winnipeg's going to be
bad.
They're going to be a bottom 10 team next year.
Logan Stanley is on an NHL roster.
Yeah.
That's all I am going to say.
Yeah, no, it's the outlook in Winnipeg is definitely grim, as is the city in general. So, it'll be a fun. It'll be a year. For Winnipeg.
They're going to crash.
It'll be a season.
Fun is certainly not the word, Luke. I'm glad you corrected yourself.
Yeah, it'll be. They'll play hockey.
They too will play hockey.
They will be an NHL team.
Let's do that hockey.
Yep. James, you're up with the Hurricanes.
You lost Trocheck. Just shut the door. That's all I got. Lost Trocheck. You got Patch ready though for nothing.
Nothing. Literal
Nothing.
And
pocket sand.
I did not know that his contract is up actually next year. So that actually is a really good get.
Yeah. Kasha too.
Kakiyemi. What? Why? Just why? Why would you do that to yourself? Kasha's a nice get for the bottom 6. Seth Jarvis should come into his own here. I'm a really big fan of Seth Jarvis. He played really well when he had some opportunity last year.
Yeah.
But also, and then another one going through with Brent Burns. I'm going down the list.
I'm glad you got to it. No worries. No sweat.
Brent Burns, I think it's a good trade because they got him at 40% retained.
Yeah, he has. I think his original contract is $8 million, so he would be at 33%.
Yeah, so
he's only like 200.
And you gave up what, like Lawrence third and a prospect, so you didn't give up much for Brent Burns, who I think on a he's 37, but on a new team he should be he should really.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm good. I do like getting Brent Burns. He is about 624 years old, which is
I thought you were laughing at that joke. James didn't even comment on it.
Dude, that caught me so far off guard. No, I do. No matter what way you look at it, getting Brent Burns is a good pickup, and I definitely like getting Pacioretty for a year. You get a free Max Pacioretty for a year, absolutely scot-free Max Pacioretty. Seth Jarvis, you're definitely. Oh no, he's not even a center. They're expecting Martin Necas once he is under contract to really be your 2C with Trocheck gone. But otherwise, yeah, I think you're fine as Carolina. You still have one of the best decors in the NHL.
Goaltending.
Freddie Anderson obviously had just an absolutely bananas type year.
He just got injured in the before the playoffs. That was their only issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that did blow. I had Carolina winning because I thought he was going to come back at some fucking point.
You guys all doubted me.
No, and then after the
You
playoffs,
all doubted me.
no, after the playoffs, so what happened to Freddie? Yeah, he tore his meniscus, and you don't see this come out the next day. Then.
Yeah, dude, dead ass. Like they were like, he should be back, at some point, right?
Round
like so,
1, they were saying.
No, because they were
round
treating us.
1.
Oh, he's like a couple days away.
they said late round 1. I was like, okay, cool. Like they're round 1. Who do they even play? I already fucking forgot. Boston. Like if you can make it past Boston, you're fine. Like you're gonna play New York. You can beat New York with Freddie, Anderson and Crickets. So yeah, Carolina will still be good.
I'm so happy that I got this next team.
You have Jack, you've had some damn good teams here.
I've had some nice teams, but
I'm
I also had
basic
Arizona.
ones. I'm getting
it balances out. I also had Arizona, so it balances out.
Yeah, valid. All right, Zach, the Columbus Bluejackets.
I mean, I think there's only one spot to start with, and it's the fact that they re-signed Patrick Laine. I think that's a big.
He's such a troll. I love it.
Yeah, Patrick Laine. He's a really good goal scorer. They definitely won that Dubois trade. Looking back at it now, because they get to keep their player, and Winnipeg don't.
Jesus.
National Take Shots at Winnipeg Day.
Gaudreau, but let's actually talk about the big thing, Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah.
He was the main asset in this free agency. When free agency hit, everyone went, "Where is Gaudreau going?" Kadri got a ton of points. Doesn't matter. Gaudreau was arguably the best winger in the league last year. Stats prove it. He was on the best line in the league, and he was a huge part for it being the best line in the league. And he might be on one of the best lines in the league again. He's with a generation. He's with a generational level scorer who's a former 40-goal scorer. I think maybe he got hurt.
No, you're right. 44.
Yeah. If Laine's healthy, he'll hit 40 again. I bet. Maybe even more. He might even hit more with it on a line with Gaudreau. They have a really young team. Like you look at the players on the ELC there. You have
you have 3 just fantastic young guys between Cole Cylinder, Ken Johnson and
is so good. Cylinder was fantastic last year when he played. I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're quite there yet, but I think you give them 1 more year to let their players age a bit. They'll have Adam Boquist, who is on a really good deal for his ability. I think they're just, generally speaking, good team.
Yep.
Good team for the future. The rebuild's going just about as perfectly as you want. Gaudreau at a pretty hefty contract, but you got to pay the best free agent in the pool that much usually, and it's better than the Tavares contract.
Fact.
Just let their guys age, and the rebuild's going well. There's really nothing else to say.
I have some thoughts about Gaudreau, but we'll get into that later in the episode.
Interesting. I will say 2 things. Gaudreau and Laine, I think, could be one of the biggest X factors in the NHL.
For sure.
If Laine can reform, Laine's already said this is the most excited he's been for a year of hockey. If Laine can come back into his form and Johnny Gaudreau could be the ultimate initiator of that, dude, they'd be crazy.
Yeah. Gaudreau, all the attention is going to be on Gaudreau all the time, which means that Laine is just going to be waiting there. And he's got that fast release too. It's just he might have the nicest release to watch in the league, other than Ovechkin, obviously.
Mm-hmm. So, James?
Well, the Columbus fans won't know who's there until after Ohio State football season.
Wait, who?
So,
yeah, valid.
There are Columbus fans?
Ohio State.
Yeah, that is.
I found out there were Columbus fans when I went to Detroit. I got yelled at. No, like Columbus is pissing me off because it was supposed to be bad. Why trying to crash the party? I do like what they've done though, except for that Eric Branson contract. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that was going to be my point of emphasis. Would you rather have Eric Branson, a third and a fourth, or Oliver Bjorkstrand? That one hurts. That one hurts for sure.
I'd say, that's a tough one, Luke. That's a tough question.
Mhm.
Probably Bjorkstrand though.
Yeah, maybe think about it, but yeah, Bjorkstrand for sure.
I think
without
I
a
would
doubt.
take Bjork. No, I think there's a lot of doubt there because
Oh, my bad.
because good Branson, who doesn't want a bad contract on the team, you know?
You look for those things, dude.
Yeah,
You're
that's what you want. Ask
it's
Ken
like
Holland,
trophy
he knows all
seeking.
about it.
It's like a prerequisite to be an NHL team. You need to have one bad contract.
At
Yeah,
least.
exactly. That's what Eiderman finally got rid of all of our bad contracts, and then we got Sherrod.
Had to get at least one. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. All right. Moving on. New Jersey Devils.
You fumbled the bag.
Yeah, you fumbled the bag pretty fucking hard. I don't actually genuinely understand what happened that Johnny Gaudreau just didn't go there. Wasn't it what was it?
They didn't want him, I thought, right?
I don't think George wanted to go to Philly. He didn't want to go to New Jersey.
Yeah, he wanted to go to Philly, but they said
that
something
was it.
about they said something about he was on the Spit and Chicklets podcast and said something about how he would have gone to Jersey, but then I think it was just Columbus gave him a last second offer and he was just that's where I want to go, and had his agent, get it done.
But who wants to live in Ohio?
Yeah, I was gonna say you chose to live in Ohio for free.
Sorry, yeah, but also Jersey is
I wouldn't really want to live in Jersey either. Yeah, but but the main thing with them is I am personally a very I don't know how to say it with saying very. That was a weird way to go at it, but I'm just not a fan of what New Jersey's doing. I'm not at all.
Oh.
I don't like
you were a
going.
Big fan.
No, absolutely not. The polar opposite. I dislike greatly going for big free agents as a rebuilder. Going for they've consistently gone after the guy each offseason. And their drafting development, Hughes, great, but he was a first overall pick, so fucking should be. I can't say guy's name here, but
Sharangovich.
Yeah, Sharangovich. Very good. Dawson Mercer, also very good. Very good. But they're having issues with Jesper Bratt, which you have all the cap space in the world. Actually, you don't have all the cap space in the world. Oh, did you pay Dougie Hamilton a disgusting amount and he didn't live up to expectations because you signed the best player in free agency and it didn't work like every other free agent player like that? Weird.
And did you pay Palat $6 million over
for 5 years after he played with, let me check my notes real quick. After he played with Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov?
Why'd you give Nico Hischier?
I just feel like they're doing they're going for some of the right guys, but for the wrong reasons.
No, but the Hughes contract is good, I think.
Hughes contract is good if he can stay healthy, but he hasn't been healthy the last few years, so it already looks great.
He's legitimately
he's a phenomenal player. One of my favorites to watch already. Yeah, he is a absolutely phenomenal player, but he has to stay healthy, and that's already a huge concern for him, which is not great. And then after that, I don't like their forwards. You acquired Hala for Zacha, which I'd probably rather have Zacha, and I don't even like Zacha. You acquired Marino for Ty Smith, which I don't like Ty Smith, but that's a weird move to move one of your younger pieces when Ty Smith is supposed to be sick.
That was a really good move. Don't diss that move.
I'm not a big Marino guy though.
But he's way better than Ty Smith,
yeah,
especially last year. Smith
Ty Smith's still young though. You can correct those mistakes of coaching.
Yeah. Oh no, but Marino is
Marino's a good second pairing guy. Sure.
Ty Smith will never be a first pairing guy. Never.
He'll be a second pairing guy, just like John Marino.
Yeah, that's why you trade for the guy who you know is going to be there, I think. Who's only 25.
It goes both ways. Young. I don't know. I
do want to say New Jersey did good at the draft, and I like how their pool is loading up. I do like that.
They have a good pool, but I think they've had a good pool for a while now, and they're still in the fucking shed.
And you're also the luckiest. Also, you're the luckiest lottery team, in the cap era.
Disgusting the luck they get. Yeah, I mean, I don't like them personally. I think they're still gonna be pretty bad for a little bit now. James, you have a lot to talk about with the Islanders. Do you want to move on? We can move on to the next team right now if you want. That's how much.
You've done what? You traded for Romanov?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that trade's horrible. I've seen, as someone who frequently watches Ottawa versus Montreal. Ronov is not good. He's a big body. That's it.
My favorite move was when they did.
Yeah, dude, I love when they got.
I would rather draft Frank Nazar.
You ruined the bit.
Whatever.
No, dude, they did nothing. They're giving the
They've
least
done
amount
nothing.
of help possible to Lane Lambert.
James,
Like Lou
you can
Lamoriello
take
was
the
like,
next one.
do
James, you
stuff.
can take the next one. We're not gonna count that one as yours.
Yeah, that's not a team. That's not a team. You can go next.
Yeah, there's not like I think Lou might be dead. Like I genuinely guys.
Yeah, someone check on him, bro. I swear. Yeah, that's all. Rangers, James.
All right, you got Trocheck. You got Trocheck for the right cap out, but the wrong term. The wrong term. That's a little too much term for my liking. But I like it though. I'm a big fan of Trocheck, and I really do like that deal. You did lose Kopp, and you did lose Mott, but you lost and Strom. You lost a lot of guys though. Your depth is back to where it was from the beginning of last season. Not that great.
You know, they have Semi Blade down here. You know who's a guy that I think they could really use? It's like a guy like, like Pavel Buchnevich.
Yes.
Oh man, imagine a guy like Bushnevich on that team.
Dude, that goes so crazy. Are you kidding me?
And they're
It's just a
bottom
shame
6.
They don't have a guy like him.
They're bottom 6.
Maybe they should trade for him, eh?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, you consider that Lafreniere, Cheadle, Trocheck, Kreider, Zibanejad, Panarin end up in your top 6. Barkley, Gaudreau's a good bottom 6 forward, but then after that, if you're rocking Ryan Reeves,
Yes, sir.
Gauthier, Hunt,
Ryan
Carpenter, and
Carpenter.
Kako, it's a bottom 6, and their
That sounds
decor, they still need another defenseman, I think.
I
Um,
love your analysis sometimes.
Mills.
It is that.
Yeah, it's the thing. I don't know. Well, it's like, what do you say? Like, it's just like it's mediocrity. It's just straight
It's
as
the
like,
bottom
Rangers
six.
are lucky
I
they
just
got
love it. I
Shesterkin.
just
If
love
they didn't have Shesterkin,
dude, if they didn't have Shesterkin last year, they would have been out within 4 games. This year, when they just lost 3 forwards, again, they brought in Trocheck, great, but you lost so much, and your backup is vastly worse. Good luck.
yeah.
Wasn't Gorgiev like not
Shesterkin-
that good last year though?
I thought he was.
And you still
I
Jacob
thought last year he wasn't that good.
He probably wasn't that good, but I don't think Yaroslav Askarov was anything last year. Wasn't he? Yeah, he had he played games.
I mean, once again, very top heavy. Like a very
Yeah,
top
no,
heavy.
they're very top heavy team, very top heavy forward, decor, and goaltending. Congrats, Igor Shesterkin. I'm playing 81 games this year. Good luck. Next, Zach. Zach, bro. I would want to talk. Actually, I wouldn't want to talk about them because Philly.
They got Tortorella, which is a fun little, that's a fun little move, isn't it? No, he's not a good coach, but I like his press conferences, so it's like, that's a plus for the league. Entertainment value.
He's definitely entertainment value.
I loved what he said about D'Angelo after they signed him, where he was like, awful guy, great player.
We want guys that want to play hockey. Complete shit stain of a person, but we want them.
And I just
like-
love that too.
like,
Because D'Angelo definitely saw that, and he'll definitely ask him about it.
D'Angelo, piece of shit, but we want hockey players.
And that'll be the most awkward conversation I think he'll ever have to have. Yeah, but that was those two were the main moves from what I know, right? Obviously, like the team isn't that good, but it's not that bad either. You might get Couturier back, you might get Ellis back.
I like a lot of their pieces for sure. Like I like Cam York, I like Sanheim,
Exactly.
I like
But
Konechny,
they're just
Farabee.
like they're a weird team where it's like last year we thought they were gonna be good and then they weren't, and this year they have the same roster, and like you look at the roster and you're like, that's a pretty good team, but they burned you last year, so you don't want to say they're gonna be good this year.
Oh no, last year was supposed to be the comeback year, Philly's comeback year, and
Exactly, and this year you don't want to say that again.
Well, normally
so-
legally Philly is supposed to make the playoffs every other year. So last year was their year. So I don't know who screwed up the justice system, but they missed.
Yeah, exactly. So it just I guess Carter Hart probably screwed up the justice system.
Also-
because he was awful
yeah.
last year.
They need a backup goalie. Their current backup goalie is someone.
Yvonne.
He's
currently
played hockey.
He's currently being captive.
He
Right
has played hockey. He actually
Wait,
pretty-
this is the guy
happy.
that's captive, isn't it?
Yeah. So they
Oh
need
yeah.
Oh, poop.
So like he can't play hockey right now then.
No, he's played, but he can't, unfortunately.
So he has played hockey, but he can't now.
Oh,
It sucks
his
because
sick
he was pretty
ass.
good down the stretch for them. Like he was
was.
not bad.
Yeah.
Ellis, I don't even think Ellis is gonna play hockey again.
Oh yeah, the Oscar Lindblom thing. That made
That
no
was
sense.
super weird. I get it, because I mean, truthfully, Lindbaum's
Are you
He's
still
very
paying
mid.
for
He's a very
Berdov?
mid player, but I thought they would just like keep
very
him.
mediocre. Yeah, I mean, I get the feel good story, definitely, but he's just
No, the one thing about it is it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna buy him out. We're gonna donate. Then we're gonna donate to the Cancer Society. Like you couldn't do that while he was on the team.
dead ass.
Yeah. Philly confuses me.
Yeah.
Like, what is you doing? Like, if I could describe it,
What are you?
Make up your damn mind.
like and then Chuck Hunter, we believe we can contend with Rasmus Ristolainen and Tony DeAngelo. No, come on.
And that contract continues to not be a good one.
No, and like, Jan has this problem with like they will not admit the team's bad until like let's pack it in. Like
They feel like the Red Wings with Ken Holland, almost, but with slightly better prospects.
I would agree. All right, moving on.
Weird
Luke
team.
has
Bad
the
team.
Penguins. They'll probably still
I
be bad,
wish
yeah.
I had that team. I would have traded you 100%, Luke. That's a good team to talk about.
This is a good team to talk about. I'm glad I've gotten one, because I think everyone else that I've had is really
I've got
mediocre.
no one, man.
Yeah, so obviously Pittsburgh, they kept everyone. They kept the Brady Bunch together, and I completely respect that. I really do. But I completely respect, keeping Sid, Malkin, and Letang together. But I'll be completely fucking honest. I wouldn't have done it if I was the GM there. Listen, I like all those guys, and I get it, but
A rebuild, please.
yeah, dude, now you have Malkin until he's 39 and Letang until he's 41, dude. You're gonna be in deep shit. And it's surely for Pittsburgh, it might they're probably gonna be that fucking lucky where it's like, oh, we'll go to the draft lottery and just get Bedard. Like it's just that easy for them, like they're just like, oh, we'll be bad. So like, like it's worked before. Like we've gotten Crosby and we've gotten Lemieux. So we'll just go get the first overall pick. No worries. No sweat. No, I mean they kept everybody, which I respect. Next offseason you drop Zucker, which is a lot of money to get. They traded for Petrie and they lost Matheson, which to me is a really fucking confusing trade. Petrie's not the worst, but Matheson really actually had a good year with Pittsburgh last year. Like he was not anywhere near the ending he had with Florida. I thought he was solid. But yeah, no, they kept everybody. I respect it, but I don't think it's gonna work out. They were very mediocre last year. They really struggled in the playoffs. Didn't they lose in the first round after almost basically a reverse sweep to the Rangers? If you're losing to the Rangers with all this, and then you're keeping absolutely everybody other than a few, minor moves where you downgrade with Ty Smith and you arguably downgrade with Jeff Petrie, you're in trouble. Inarguably. My bad. My fault. Yeah, I don't know.
They're a team.
They're a team. They'll play this year. They will. I don't know why my analogies are sometimes that fuck. Go right to you, James, with Washington.
Yeah.
James, with Washington now.
Poor Backstrom. Kemper. Yeah, you got rid of both your young goalies though, which I kind of don't like.
No.
I think Vitek played amazing for Washington. I think Vitek was a better goalie. Samsonov, I get he struggled, but I mean, it is what it is. And you got Connor Brown. Thank you for the second round pick. I appreciate it. But I love Connor Brown, and I'm sad to see him go. But Washington, like, We always say it's the year they're gonna fall off. Past 2 years, it's the year they're gonna fall off. I know I did last year.
Yeah, last
You
year
not-
I
you
did not. I
yeah.
was still a fan.
I don't like the defense. Outside of John Carlson. The goaltending tandem has improved. I will give them that. Lindgren had a great year in the AHL. But Backstrom Wilson's out for a while. Is he out for a bit?
Backstrom could hypothetically just never play again, which is absolutely awful.
So sad. One of the
yeah.
best playmakers of all time.
Yeah,
And
really an insanely fun player to watch.
And Obi said it when they got out last year. It's like we're not in a good spot. But he said that to the media. Like, so either this team is going to be a playoff team or they're going to be really bad. There's no in between. And that Kemper contract, I'm honestly not a fan of. Kemper playing behind the best defense in the league last year. He's 32. Giving him that 5-year deal, really, I just don't like it.
No, it's I don't actually want to call it a confusing offseason. It's an understandable offseason. I like the Strom contract actually like a lot. I think that's just a very good small signing to get. But yeah, I mean, you drop both your goalies. Samsonov, confusing, I get, but confusing to just not even qualify. Again, a really young, good player, but
yeah, it made no sense. He wasn't really good last year, but
no, he wasn't really good, but like
back.
he's like 24, 25. Like it's
and for a goalie, that's like
super young. Yeah, it's confusing. They still have a lot of guys. Like it's not like Ovi is gonna slow down. I still like Kuznetsov. I like the Strom again, like I just said. I'm a huge John Carlson fan, but they have a lot of weak points.
They're gonna have a lot of money next offseason as well.
Former Red Wings legend.
23 Schmill next offseason. That's also not really accounting for Backstrom on LTIR either, so they'll have around 30.
Yeah, not too bad.
They'll have to re-sign their whole decor, or do something with it rather.
What
for the Red Wings from this offseason?
It's John Carlson and friends. Well,
yeah,
future and former Red Wings legend Nick Jensen. He's a future Red Wings legend. Future and former.
Yeah. We'll switch over to our final division, the Atlantic, and we'll go with Zach.
Peculiar moves. Getting rid of.
I thought you just said puke.
Yeah, so did I.
No, peculiar moves.
What, you mean nothing?
Yeah, essentially. They don't even officially have pressure on.
GM the player who's a UFA next year and is probably their second best player has come out and said he doesn't like, which I don't know if I like that move personally. I personally wouldn't do that. That's just me though. They got rid of one of the best coaches in the league, which again, I personally wouldn't make that move if I was Boston. Obviously, they brought in, I think, Jim Montgomery, the fine coach.
I like that, but he's not Bruce Cassidy.
Yeah, exactly. I think if he didn't have his issues, I'm glad he's over from now and has gone past it. He would probably still be the coach for the Stars. But yeah, I don't know. The team is injured, very. Not going to be very good next year at the start of the year. And they got rid of the coach who's always been able to handle it when the team's always injured. And they haven't done much this offseason, really.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting start to the year for Boston for sure. It'll the start of the year, if they can just maintain, then they'll be fine. But yeah, I think they're gonna be without Marchand and McAvoy to start, and I don't know where Lindholm is because obviously he got fucking smoked in the playoffs.
Grizzlies out too.
Yeah, they're gonna be without a lot of guys to begin the regular season.
Wait, and McAvoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James should probably take Buffalo, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say I will trade you one of you the Red Wings. I will trade.
I was just gonna say let's
trade. If I have Ottawa, I'll make that trade.
Yeah.
So Zach just went.
I'll give one of you the Red Wings. You give me Ottawa.
Okay, perfect. Wait, who just went then? Oh, Zach just went with Boston, right? So it's me with Buffalo.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that'd be me
and
with
then it would have been
Detroit.
James with
Right.
wings.
Yeah, so
No, you would have had
James would
Ottawa
still
and
get Ottawa. So James, how about we just trade Buffalo and Detroit?
yeah, sounds good.
Fuck
Okay.
you.
Well, you're still gonna help me with this.
Yeah, I know.
Don't give me that.
Like our teams are gonna be just like it's gonna be like a joint discussion. Like it's gonna be like
Yeah, absolutely.
all right,
So we will move on to Detroit now. This is gonna be
Buffalo.
it. Wait,
Well, Buffalo.
do you just want to do
Yeah,
Buffalo
come
now,
on.
and then
They're a team too.
you
Yeah,
want to
I'll-
do Buffalo now, and then you'll
We're
just
doing
wait
Buffalo
until
now.
Ottawa?
They're a
Right,
team
I'm gonna
too,
say this
okay?
right now. I was getting shirt by Sabres fans earlier yesterday, so I'm gonna say this because I'm kind of
Deservingly so. Sabres on top. Sabres in 4.
Sabres fans. Your team ain't good enough to make the
Sabres
playoffs.
in
Let's just put that out there
4.
right now.
Sabres in 4. Kyle Okposo in 8.
And I can't tell you after this year how much I despise. It's like back when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I hated Buffalo, and now as an adult, I still hate Buffalo.
You actually have strong feelings about Buffalo.
Well,
I
back
don't even know
when
that I have feelings about
back when
Buffalo.
I was growing up,
What being a fan for a
Right,
poverty
listen,
franchise?
when I was growing up, Buffalo was the top dog, and they would always play Ottawa in the playoffs, and they would always beat Ottawa.
Well, they had Ryan Miller, who had that dog in him.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had
Like
that
a dog.
Him and Thomas Vanek.
Right. I just want to say, Sabres, you're still going to be 7th or 8th in the division. I do like what you have, though. I love the Savoy pick. You got nice young core, Krebs, Cousins. Tuck's going to be really good next year. And I love Owen Power. Like, that dude, he might win the Calder. Like, that's how high I am on Owen.
He's tall.
That boy large. Like that. I hate your goalies. But you got good rookies, you got good young guys in the line, which is nice to see. But they're still at least 2 to 3 years away from actually doing something. Lyubushkin's a good signing, though. I will give him that. Lyubushkin is a nice signing. He's a good stay-at-home defenseman.
He was arguing. My dad kept telling me, because he's an old Leafs fan, old head guy kind of guy. He kept telling me how he thought that Lyubushkin was their second best defenseman last year. So
That's such an old head statement. Like,
That is. Yeah. Buffalo. If your starting goalie is either of Eric Comrie or Craig Anderson or Malcolm Subban,
voice of
you're
an angel.
fucked. You're fucked.
Yeah.
You're in bad shape.
what are they?
You're fucked. You're fucked, bud.
Oh,
You're fucked, bud.
Gotcha.
Listen, I like Rasmus Dahlin, love Owen Power, but
I
your big
love
offseason ad
Not
is
like-
Ilya Lushibin.
Lyubushkin.
Lyubushkin, fuck you.
Listen,
I don't care.
Lyubushkin would have been.
What else did they do? They kept Vinny Hinostroza and That's
they
it.
signed Olofsson.
Olofsson, right? You're really hoping for Tage Thompson to continue growth, and I don't think he's going to be able to repeat what he just did
Nah,
personally.
James had a hot take on TikTok.
No. I
He
said
He had a
that.
hot take. Hot
No,
take
no.
on James.
I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
He
that
was gonna
because
score
he would
50
get-
goals.
Yeah. No,
He
all
was
the
gonna
comments
score
were
50 goals.
No. They're supposed to be bold for a reason. I don't.
That's not bold. That's just wrong. There's a difference.
Listen, there's a fine line between bold and wrong. So probably.
That's you doing it for comments and just comments.
Why you calling me out on my podcast? Why
Fucking
you calling
sell
out on my
out.
podcast now? Why you gotta call me out like that?
It was an awful take, and I can't afford you trying to spread these bad takes.
Hey, my bold takes last year got. Actually, right. I said most I win the Calder, and I said
Yeah.
Resna.
Which was way more realistic than Tage Thompson is going to score 50 goals next year.
Yeah, it was a large stretch, and I know that. Anyway,
At least you can admit it.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, Buffalo, bad. Casey Middlestat
Bad.
got to improve. There, end of conversation.
I like that. Moving on. Detroit. Wait, I just clicked Buffalo again. Detroit.
I watched that whole
Fuck.
slow process.
Tough scene for the kid. Yeah. So Detroit. I don't think
We
either
did a
Zach
lot.
and I. Yeah, we did a lot. We did all the things. I don't think Zach and I could be a bigger fan of where Detroit's at right now. Obviously, we signed everybody. We signed Andrew Kopp. We signed David Perron. We signed Dominic Kubalik. We signed Ben Sherratt. We signed Oli Mato. We signed Mark Pysyk. We signed Steven Kampf. We just signed Robert Hagg. I think the contract's not officially there. And we got
Traded
Billy
for
Husso
Billy,
and signed him. we did a lot of things, which is in one sense scary because how often do big free agent spendings work, right? Like very
No,
seldom do you go and spend that much money in free agency and you're like, oh, I think we walked away from that on top. But um Iceman didn't really like other than the Sherrod, like I don't think basis wise you can look at any of these and be like, well, that has a chance, that has a good chance to end up bad. Sherrod, absolutely. That could end up being a
that Kubalik deal is
cataclysmic
so
fuck
good.
up.
That
Yeah.
Kubalik deal is so good, man. That Kubalik deal. He's a former 30 goal scorer, and we got him for $2 million for 2 years. I mean, he's young too.
I really like the Kubalik signing for you guys.
Nobody was offering him that.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, we're in a good spot right now for sure. The decore's much improved from having Dick Heiser, Stahl, and whoever the fuck else.
Nemeth.
You actually have forward depth that you can put Dominic Kubalik, who's a former 30 goal scorer, on the third line. You have a 1A and 1B situation in net, which is fantastic. Robbie Fabry's on IR to start the year, which sucks. But even when he comes back, where the fuck does he even go? Because you actually have some depth now. They have Simon Edvinsson, who could definitely come up as well. Oh, Robert Hagg is there. He's just in the AHL. Simon Edvinsson, again, like I just tried to mention, is a guy that could come up and play this year, has a pretty good chance. Jonathan Berggren also had the best year for any Grand Rapids rookie ever. He had, I think, 64 points in 70 games in the AHL.
And he started so slow too.
He
the
did.
fact that he ended up with that stat line after starting he had 10 points in the first 20 games is quite frankly ridiculous.
A lot of our guys, I think we're in a great spot personally.
We are. Great contract.
I was going to say, from an outside take, I think Detroit had the best offseason. I think Detroit did what they filled the holes they had last year. They filled the holes they needed to fill. The only issue I hate the Sherrod deal. I think you guys do too. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, not a good deal.
Defense is very much improved. Forward core, you have a great top nine there. Detroit could be scary. They're definitely a contender for the wild card in this division.
One thing I mentioned before, as I've said a few X factors, our biggest X factor is going to be brand new head coach Derek Lalonde. If he can come in and get in a good style, because he's like a player's coach. There's a lot of coaches that they'll mention and be like, well, I'll run a lot of coaches just run their styles, right? And that was a big thing that I hated about Jeff Blashill is year after year he wouldn't change anything, and he definitely didn't have one other than just trying to be defensive minded.
Blashill puck.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard being with Blashill because it was he just never changed. It never he never did anything to make anything more suited to a certain player. No lines had different plans. It seemed like every line was just go dump and chase and figure it out from there. And if Lalonde can be this player's coach that he's told to be, and he can help all these guys and find different parts of their game, there's been mention already about they want to see Zadina under Lalonde just to see what his style and what his philosophies can do for his game. And I think that's absolutely fantastic to hear off rip already. If Derek Lalonde is going to be our X factor, because if he can come in and be a good coach and help a lot of these younger guys, I think like James said, could be scary. And I think we could definitely push for a wild card if everything goes right.
Yeah. And the Larkin contract is being negotiated, probably not as we speak because we're recording pretty late, but it's being discussed already. So I'm not worried about that. We paid guys, and usually, as Luke said, when you pay guys, it doesn't work. But with Steve Yzerman, it's different because when he pays guys, it tends to work. Sherrod deal, not good. Rest
Good
of the
wording
deals,
there.
very good. Perron deal, I feel is fantastic. This guy's a 60-point guy every year. His game doesn't rely too much on speed, so even though he's older, and it's not a long-term deal either. Kopp gives so much on that penalty kill for you. He can play anywhere you want him to, any line. He was dominant on the Rangers. I think he was point per game on the Rangers when he went there. You're looking at a team that might have Sundqvist, a former Stanley Cup champion who was essential to St. Louis's Stanley Cup run as a healthy scratch.
Yeah, I was going to say, what should you talk about? What should you talk about? Yeah, so like I always say like there's a lot of new guys in, a lot of new signings, a lot of some trades in there. It's boom or bust for those though. Like and like you said, it tends to work. And I
Actually,
do
it tends to not work.
yeah, like I don't think all these signings are gonna be like just amazing signings. I think like one or two out of these is gonna be a mess.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to cough.
Yeah. Another thing to mention that Verana's gonna be back for the whole year. Hopefully.
If Verana is healthy, dude, I swear to you,
Him and
he's getting
Perron,
40 to 50.
no.
If
Him and
Verana
Perron.
is so capable of 50 goals, it's not even funny.
Luke gave an awful take, which I'm not going to call him out for, but
What?
about Verana. He
What'd I
said that
say?
Verana can score 70.
Oh,
Well,
fuck you. I did not say that. Kick rocks.
You did say that.
No,
Like
I
in
said
fucking-
70 as in points. And Zach goes, goals? I go, no. He's like, he can
you-
score 60 or something. I was like, I didn't mean goals.
No, you meant goals. Totally.
No,
We
I
were
did
just
not
talking
mean
about
goals,
and
you
said he can score
hobgoblin.
70.
bro, you better not mention goals because then the Matthews fanboys are gonna be in here soon.
He's on the Tage Thompson train, man.
Fine.
Yeah, Detroit's in a good spot, and I like where they are.
Absolutely. We spent enough time on them now. So now I think technically this would be Zach's team with the Florida Panthers.
Oh yeah, that last team felt like mine. I had no time to even think
The
about
Florida Senators.
Of course, I get a good team right after. I had no time to think about them. But we talked about the Kachuk trade. Bad trade, probably for Florida. Their team's worse this year than it was last year. Montour's a good defenseman. I like the idea that they brought two of the Stahl brothers together. That's kind of fun, even though Eric Stahl probably doesn't make the team on the tryout. I'd expect Lundell to take a jump, I'd hope. I think Lundell is.
He had a good year for sure already. So if he can take another jump,
I think
you're
he can
doing
take
good.
another jump. I think it seems like he gets better all the time. He just feels like a young Barkov. He plays very similar, I feel, which is really strange how they have two players who are probably going to be like elite centers. Kachuk with Barkov, it might be fun, but they never, that team never seems to play two players together. Who was their coach that they hired again?
Paul Maurice. And that's why I don't. That's why I have no faith in Florida.
That was a bad sign. I remember that it was bad. I just forgot who it was. Yeah, bad.
Bad.
If Brunette was still the coach, I'd have more faith in them. I'll be honest.
Yeah, off season was just overall not up to par. When you have a team that was as talented and as good as they were last year, you go into the off season and you go, man, I just want the owners, like even as a neutral who has no care for Florida, because why would I ever care about Florida? Who cares about Florida? I want them to make good moves, right? And like a good team to make good moves, and they haven't made great moves. Colin White signing, pretty solid. Especially after he got bought out from Ottawa. He was on a much heftier contract there, so I don't blame Ottawa for that move, but it's a good buyout. Yeah, generally speaking, just not a great offseason.
Yeah, I think Florida had a bad offseason. I think they have a bad coach. I think Bill Zito when the trade first went in, you know that meme, I thought Bill Zito, cocaine's a hell of a drug. Like Kachuk will make them more physical, which we saw that playoff series where they got pushed around by the Lightning, and I get that. They lost depth in their forwards, they lost depth in the defense, and their goaltenders are. I love Spencer Knight, but they're it's a meh.
They don't have that dog in them.
Don't got that dog.
And that defense it's Ekblad. Montour's good, and then
Ekblad from where I live.
Thanks, Zach. They obviously they lost a lot of pieces. They lost Marchment, they lost Weegar, they lost Huberdeau comparatively. They got Kachuk, which is great, but I think they take a bit of a step back. Probably still playoffs. Paul Maurice will again be the X factor for me. If he's able to coach them well, great. But this is a team that's going to need some help on defense, I think. Ekblad's great, but Montour is your two now that you lost Weegar is less than ideal.
Forsling has that dog in him.
I do want to say if Lundell And if Lundell and White get injured in the season, have fun with Chris Tierney as your second line center.
All righty.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
No, probably not. Montreal, I won't spend much time on them.
Bad.
Bad. They're bad.
Move on.
The Evgeny Dadonov trade, sure. The Kirby Doc trade,
Sure.
thanks. I hate it. The Matheson
they're
trade, it's a trade. I'm sorry to be so disrespectful to Montreal here, but you
All
guys
these
got
are
a bit.
moves. Shout out Paul Byron though. Save
Shout out Paul
Shout
Byron.
out Paul Byron, yeah.
No, Paul Byron didn't save a guy. He said there was another guy that saved the guy, but he assisted, but there's another guy that is the
No,
hero.
his friend said that Paul Byron jumped in first.
Paul Byron's from Ottawa.
I don't know, man. You guys stop fucking saying this stuff?
Yeah. Montreal, look, they'll be better. They won't be a playoff team.
They'll be a bit better. Yeah, I mean, they'll be 8th in the Atlantic and 16th in the East, but they'll be better.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be. I think they're better than Philly. I put them over Philly right now. Maybe.
On paper, no, definitely not.
I think Marty St. Louis in a full year could definitely help them though.
Sure. For sure.
Yeah, he made such a big difference, especially to Cole Caulfield. Like Caulfield's game completely changed.
Yeah, Caulfield, like Montreal, yes, they're gonna be bad. Also, they're broke though. That's the issue. They are broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, having this roster in 200,000 is.
They'll have more though because Carey Price, right?
And I'm sorry, your roster, you employ a crybaby. I'm sorry, is Brendan Gallagher still on your roster being overpaid? I just want to put that out there. Brendan Gallagher, big crybaby.
No, but he made good TikToks like a year ago though.
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean
my fault.
So
my house got robbed. Like,
Who's
that's
the real
not it.
owner?
Like,
LeBlanc cast approved.
Look, I hate Brendan Gallagher so much.
LeBlanc cast improved contract, James.
Yeah, it's improved because he's hindering the team. So probably
Approved.
All right, moving on to Mr. Sevigny's team, the Ottawa Senators, who definitely had a fun offseason.
I don't want to say we killed it, but
They made some
killed
moves.
it. Ottawa had a good offseason. They fixed. I said, what do I want? I want a top 6 forward. I got 2 of them, so I think that's yeah. Norris got extended, which I'm so glad that happened right away. I did not want to go for another summer of, oh, we should have traded. He's not going to resign.
Shout out my boy Brady.
Yeah.
Shout out Kachuk. Can't wait for you to go to Florida with your brother.
All right. That cap hit.
Valid.
DeBrincat is just a game changer. Like, and you can say, oh, he's only has 1 year under contract. Yeah, he's an RFA. Bro.
Well, he only has 1 year under contract.
He only has 1 year in a contract. I don't know, man.
HL.
Well, your
we don't
PO
say
for
that,
DeBrincat
James.
is $9 million, which will be a little bit of, I don't want to call it a struggle, but it is something to consider.
I think definitely there's gonna be some big money moved out and to pay. What else we do? Yeah, so top 6. I think our top 9 is really good. Like I think Shane, for the top 9 to work, I think Shane Pinto is an X factor this year if he can stay healthy. Because when he's played, he's been fantastic. Our third line of Formenton, Pinto, Joseph. Like Joseph was amazing last year for us.
Until Moritz Seider murdered him.
Yeah. He still got the hat trick.
That is valid.
Yeah. I like our forward court. The defense, though, I'm still concerned.
I would be too.
I posted a TikTok today about Nikita Zaitsev, or yesterday, and it's like that SpongeBob sound like, oh, no, we already did that, and then it's like, why are you still here? And it was about Nikita Zaitsev. Like, I think he's
Nikita Zaitsev.
I really think Zaitsev, especially with all the defensemen that are off the market, he's definitely staying. He won't be in an increased role. Sanderson and Brandstrom that's another X factor, I would say. If Sanderson can be what he was in North Dakota in the NHL, then I have no problem with the defense. Goaltending, I like our tandem. I Forsberg, I really like Philip. Forsberg.
I like Philip Forsberg too.
Cam Talbot's a good get. If it doesn't
good.
work, it doesn't work. Talbot's got 1 year left, and then
Philip Forsberg would probably be a better goalie than Anton Forsberg.
all right, let's not disrespect someone who's top 10 and say
He's drinking the Dan Campbell Kool-Aid. That's what's up.
Yeah. Ottawa. I think Ottawa has a chance to be a playoff team.
I obviously love getting DeBrincat and Giroux. I like your top six a lot. I think it's a huge step down from the top six to the third line. Like you guys like a lot of other teams that have those guys that are like they're on the third line, but they could be on the second
I
line.
actually like their third line.
I like your third line, but I don't think like any of those guys are second line guys.
No,
I don't think they're
Joseph
even
could
like
be. Joseph is
Joseph and Formenton. I
so good
really
at
like
the end of
Formenton.
last year. Joseph was so good at the end of last year.
Yeah, Joseph had a really good.
he definitely was good at the end of last year, but the start of last year,
He was
he played in the NHL.
Because he never played on Tampa. Like they didn't give him any ice time, but then he goes to Ottawa and he was.
Well, I mean, he'll be third line this year, so like, how much time is he really gonna get?
I bet they give him more ice time than actual third line.
He might get like a power play, like a second
Yeah.
power play, but I don't know. I don't think that's
my issue with them isn't forwards at all. I feel their forwards are more than fine.
no, their forwards are fine. Their top nine is definitely solid. I think that's
purely the defense.
If
and
my
the goalie.
qualm is that one of your third liners can't play second liners, that's not that big of a qualm. Truly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
I
purely
think
their
we need
defense and their goalies.
we need one right-handed D. We need one. I like, bro, stop texting me.
Goodness, that was loud.
I really do like Shabbat, elite. I love Artem Zub. Sanderson. I still believe in Berenster, even though everyone hates on Berenster for no reason. I really do like.
You guys you don't have a second or third D when I look.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's why I think we need a second line right-handed defenseman to really put that in. If you do that, then I think Ottawa can definitely be a solid team. I think the forwards are enough to carry the defense, but goaltending.
Not in the Atlantic, I don't think. That's my issue. If you guys were in like the Pacific, I would go, this is a good team. But
I think Ottawa will contend for a playoff spot, definitely. I don't think we make it this year, though. I think like even Drew and French said, will we make playoffs or Stanley League Cup next year? Probably not, but we're building something.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's probably the most fair assessment there.
But I really could see us being like the Toronto Maple Leafs of like 2017, where like it was a bunch of young with old, and then they made playoffs, but the defense was just lackluster.
Minus the fact that Toronto didn't have to play in this Atlantic.
I do. Yeah, but yeah, the division's tough, but
that's the biggest issue. Is this division's an absolute bloodbath. That's obviously the issue with Detroit and Ottawa moving forward.
I do want to say in the Atlantic division, X factor injuries.
Yup.
The X factor.
Yeah. Okay, next.
So we're gonna have to speed run these last few teams. Obviously, it's only two, so I think this is technically Zach with Tampa.
Good.
Good.
Tampa, good team, I think. I reckon that the back-to-back Stanley Cup champ, well, back-to-back and could have been to back, but then wasn't because they're frauds. Yeah, they had to pay a tax, right? And when you make it to multiple Stanley Cups in a row, you're gonna lose players. Like they lost a lot. They lost McDonough. You're just gonna lose players, and you're gonna overpay players too. Like that Chernak contract, I saw it. I laughed. I legitimately laughed out loud. The Chiarelli contract, not bad.
I'm working on these contracts right now. Yeah, I'm really trying to now compute that you're going to be paying Mikhail Sergachev more than Victor Hedman.
Yeah, the Sergachev contract isn't very good either. The Chiarelli contract, I feel, is fine. I think
they got overpaid for the term they wanted to stay there.
It's a fine deal, but the Chernak and Sergachev contract worries me a lot. Obviously, with trading McDonough, you're hoping Cal Foot can take a step up. I think that's the obvious hope that you have. And he looked really good when he was playing in the playoffs. Like I watched pretty much every Tampa game in the playoffs. I think most people did. And he looked good. Hagel's good. Nemesnikov is someone good to bring back. He worked really well with Kucherov when he played together with him. Yeah, I think they're going to be a fine team. Nick Paul worked really well with that team.
Yeah, that's a good contract for Nick.
It was a really nice contract, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean they'll still be absolutely fantastic. I would have.
They're going to be a good team again because they're Tampa, but they lost players and they gained other players for cheaper, and they overpaid some players because when you make Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup,
cup tax,
and they're going to ask a lot of money, and the question that you have to ask yourself is, am I going to overpay them, or would I rather lose them, right?
Mhm.
And Tampa made their decision, and it's really up to you whether it's the right decision or not.
That is true. All right. Final team, Toronto. I will try to go as quick as I can.
Bad.
Bad.
Yeah, I definitely don't like their offseason. Obviously, they lost Mikheyev. I wouldn't have paid Mikheyev that anyways, so I don't fault you guys
Lost
for
both
that.
his
Bad
goalies.
team though.
You
And
guys
so
are
what-
1.4 over the cap, and you guys haven't signed Rasmus Sandin, and it doesn't even sound like you guys want to. You guys obviously just got Mark Giordano back in the most team-friendly deal you could ever fucking ask for. Muzzin's been in trade rumors for a little bit, at least on AGM, cap-friendly AGM, which those guys are fucking inbred. The forwards are okay. You know, obviously the top 6 is still gonna be absolutely fantastic. I don't mind Kelly Youngkrook. I don't know that I would have ever given Kelly Youngkrook. The fuck is that?
It's an arrow. I drew it.
I was wondering what's been happening this whole time. I don't know where these have come from. Yeah, I wouldn't have given Cal Youngkrook 4 years, I don't think, but they're still going to be good. They're still Toronto. Your biggest issue is very obviously the goaltending. Matt Murray, bad. Ilya
Delete.
Samsonov,
Former
while
Stanley Cup
we
champion Matt Murray.
go fuck yourself. As we've already talked about, you know, it's a little
It's been
confusing
5
that,
years.
you know,
Let's let it go. It's been 5 years.
it's obviously confusing for, you know, Washington to have not even qualified Samsonov, but then if you're going to go with the goalie that wasn't even qualified by a team that desperately needed goalies and get Matt Murray, and
No,
you
you
lost.
just dissed Washington for not bringing back Samsonov. You can't diss Toronto for
No,
bringing
listen.
Samsonov right after.
Why would I not be able to? Listen, if
can't
you
do
can,
that.
you can
You
salvage some from Samsonov, but it's not like he's actually ever been. Listen, I don't get me wrong. I think Washington's decor is a lot to fucking blame for
No,
why
you can't
Samsonov
do
was
that
bad.
though. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not having that.
I can
I'm
do
not having you
whatever I want.
I'm not having you berate Washington.
Samsonov
How could you let
Samsonov is a bounce back
promising
candidate.
goalie
I will
go?
say that.
He's a bounce back candidate for sure, but if you're relying on Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov
Bad.
to be your combo after you
How
just
could
let
you
Jack
let a
Campbell
promising
walk,
goalie go? Oh, Samsonov's so trash.
Matt,
oh,
here's the
fucking
thing.
kill you.
Toronto's now paying more for their goaltenders, and they got worse in net.
I don't like it.
I think Toronto can their bottom 6 is horrible. Like, I mean,
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't
It's
know.
about as good as Ottawa's.
Yeah.
I mean, you consider that you probably have Bunting and Engvall in
Bunting-
the top 6, and you have Kerfoot, Yarncroke, Camp.
No.
Everton.
Kerfoot's in the top 6. Engvall will not be in the top 6 for Toronto.
All right, whatever, same thing. But I don't think it's that bad.
No, it's fine.
I think
Good.
I think their bottom
like
6
40-point player, right? If I'm not mistaken, and they got
He's
him at a
what?
really affordable deal.
God, that was pretty bad.
He
But
got,
I don't.
he got 33 points for Vancouver 1 year.
1 year.
What, 8 years
Yeah.
ago? Like 8 years?
No, like 2 or 3.
Probably 5.
3. Yeah. But since then, he's gotten
He's been bad.
11
He was great on
and
Ottawa, right,
14.
James? Tell him how good he was. on
I
Ottawa.
like
Tell
Gaudette.
him.
I wanted to keep Gaudette, but he's a depth piece. He's not
No,
like
tell him, James. Tell him.
I
tell
like
him that he's
Gaudette.
your
I
best
wanted
player.
to keep him.
No,
Tell him that he was your best
Nicholas
player.
Robertson's not only 18 years old still. Man, if I could go back to Nick Robinson is 18 years old. God, were those the
He was
days.
18 forever. It felt like.
18
He
years
might
old.
make the team because he had a good year last year in the AHL.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
He
But
should have made the team last year. It made no sense how he didn't.
All right. That is our team roundup. That took entirely way too much time. I'm sure everybody will already be skipping through to see what we said. But if you stay tuned for all the teams, thank you. You guys rock. We're gonna have one more little thing, and then we'll be done. If you guys quickly could each pick 3 teams that you think will improve a pretty good chunk and take a few step backs. Pick 3 teams that will take a step back and pick 3 teams that will take a step forward.
I need a pen.
If you guys want, I can go first because I have my teams.
Yeah, you can go first.
You can go
All right.
first.
So teams that I think improved a lot and will probably take step forwards. First off, I'm gonna go with Detroit because I think you
Ooh.
improved on absolutely all assets of the game. I think your coach is obviously a lot better. I obviously be focusing on Detroit a lot, so I won't focus on that much right now. Another team that I really like, honestly, was the Hurricanes. I know obviously you lost a few pieces, but I love bringing in Max Pacioretty and Brent Burns. As long as Marty Niquez can be what you think he's gonna be, I think Hurricanes own the Metro. And my final team is Seattle. We made mention that Seattle probably won a lot of things, including the draft. You got Shane Wright at 4th. You're doing completely fine there. And bring in Bjork Strand for fucking pocket sand is amazing. Teams that I dislike that I think will take a step back. I get 4 in here, so I'm gonna take out one of them. But one of them is Buffalo. I've alluded to it a little bit. You didn't do anything except Ilya like Labushkin, thank you. That was your only signing. You're relying very heavily on your young forwards, which I respect, but is very seldom a recipe for success.
This sounds like it sounds familiar. Where have I heard this recipe?
Yeah,
before?
seriously. We James and I have gone through it. I think Buffalo, you're really hoping, logically as a team, you're hoping you can be Detroit or Ottawa last year, but I don't think you're gonna be either of that. I think you're still just a year or two away from that, probably a year. And then you'll get into it. And then my next team, Anaheim. I don't understand why they let go of so many guys that, they might not have been that great. Like, I'm not the biggest Sonny Milano fan, but like, to just let go of a player that you probably could have paid for, 2 million tops when you have 25 million in cap space, confusing. Final team that I think is probably going to take a big step back is the Islanders. You lost the best coach in the world or in hockey. And I like Lane Lambert, but you literally gave Lane Lambert nothing. You said, go have fun, go do something. And you just had the best coach in hockey. And now you're supposed to, as Lane Lambert, take the exact same team that Barry Trotz completely failed with and do anything with?
Fair.
Yeah, good luck. So those are my 3 teams. James?
All right. I have on here Detroit. I already wrote it down. Ottawa. I think Ottawa's gonna be a lot better than they were last year. That's my bias, but sue me. And then the team that we said I did say Seattle. I love what Seattle did.
those were my teams.
No, it's fair. I mean, I think the teams that took step forwards. I mean, I don't think there's much more wiggle room for like teams that you could look at.
Another team I could say is Columbus. I think Columbus is going to be a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Columbus adding Johnny Gaudreau, you have to be better.
Yeah, but that. Yeah.
Taking a step back, I have Florida. I said this, I think of you guys, I don't believe in Florida. I think they got worse. Their coaching got worse. Their defense got worse. Their goaltending still an issue. I just don't like what Florida did.
Lancers.
Call me a hater, but like I don't like it. Like I don't. I have the St. Louis Blues taking a step back.
Fair.
You traded Husso, who was the starter in the season, for a guy who wasn't really like Bennington in season was not great. In playoffs, he was pretty good, but
bad goals Bennington, right, Luke?
Oh, I hate Bennington. My least favorite goaltender ever. Bad goals Bennington.
And then I have Vegas, just because of the uncertainty.
That's valid.
Man. Yeah. Well, you guys know the teams that I had as an improvement. I had Wings, Ottawa, Seattle, and then worse with Isles, Ducks, Vegas.
Yeah, it is an unfortunate topic because I mean we should be agreeing on it. Another team that I could hypothetically sit here and take a step back, or hypothetically that I could evidently say that take a step back is again. Yeah, definitely Winnipeg. Winnipeg is a big shoe-in for a step back.
I forgot about.
I was gonna say Winnipeg. Yeah.
When I grabbed the pen, I told myself Winnipeg, and then I forgot to say Winnipeg.
I just have this written down. To clearly say the signing that I hated was Palat. That's it. Palat.
Yep, I would say that's fair.
No, but he got points in the playoffs.
He
got points in the playoffs. No, but
he's like the contract's not great. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, that's cool.
Argue with the wall, James.
That's our episode. That's our
very long episode. Thank you guys for sticking with us through it. You guys rock. Hopefully, you guys did stick with us through it. I do hope that.
You
If
probably
you guys,
didn't.
I'm
Probably
probably
didn't.
gonna put in
if you
time.
probably
Probably
didn't,
skip to the Red
fine,
Wing.
understand.
gonna
I'll
put in
probably get
timestamps.
roasted in the I'll probably get
I'm-
roasted in the comments. James, please put in timestamps. That would be
I
great.
will.
Also, for those watching, leave comments in the comment section with shit that we can cover if you felt like there was
And
something that we didn't
likes.
really cover that much. Yeah, likes help, subscriptions,
Yeah,
sweet.
subscriptions help. Yeah, Brett.
Share anything, do whatever you can. But yeah,
Follow
give
on
us
Spotify if we post there
Spotify.
ever.
We have an Instagram. You can follow James TikTok. We don't have an official TikTok for the podcast, at least to my knowledge. But the
One day we'll
Instagram
get
is
it.
where you'll find some news, some random posts. And
Leave your
yeah,
hot
definitely.
takes. Leave hot takes in the comments.
Yeah, leave hot takes. We'll cover some of them for sure. We still have a lot of offseason to go, and we're going to have to make a few more hockey podcasts, especially when a few more trades and signings happen. So give us some ideas and stuff like that. And in the meantime, thank you for watching.
Yep.